All right. Welcome back, everybody. here we go again. Tonight's presentation is a recent edition by Jeranism. Who do you trust? Science has a three-body problem. So, that being said, everybody knows the protocol. If, and that's a very small if, and written in italics, Jeranism should happen to say something so ridiculous it mandates a response. Just first person to yell drink will stop the video. That person will first announce themselves and then say what they got to say, and then we'll continue. You got to say who you are. That way, anybody in the in the public chat wants to ask you specifically a question, they can do so. All right. That being said, let's get started. Here we go.
Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2,
So sick of
1.
that intro.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
Oh, this again.
Did everybody notice he got rid of the open your mind, there's truth inside crap? We all did that, you know.
He has it to the he has it to the end of the videos now.
Yes, he says it, but it used to be in the intro. I think
Right.
collectively we all shamed him out of that crap. All right, here we go.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jeranism, back with another video for you today.
Thank God.
Oh,
Who do you trust? Do you trust scientists? The ones who tell us the age of the Earth? 4.54 billion years, right? It's a fact.
How would you prove to all these young people here 100% absolute proof that the Earth is 4.6 billion years old?
That's quite
Oh
difficult.
no.
Over 4
Oh
billion
no.
we can do.
How do you do? Okay, over 4 billion.
And note, nobody came to his theater. Bunch of empty goddamn seats. Look at in our theater, we got 2 people in a pug. He's got nobody. He's got nobody.
And how do you do it?
Using potassium argon, strontium, rubidium, and the process of geology.
Have you ever had a dream that you
Is that Russian vids?
you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Well, that sounds
I
convincing.
would like to point out that
But
he's
you could be
actually
wrong,
used
right?
that
At least
clip
science-
to he's actually used that clip to personify Red at one point.
Really?
So yeah.
So Red's logic and reason sounded like that to Jeranism?
Yeah.
anything that has something to do with actual facts, actual reality, and math. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to call that a reception error, not a transmission problem.
He has some kind of mental disorder that makes everything sound like stuttering to him. Is that what it is?
It could anything over a couple of syllables, I believe. Alrighty, here we go.
Admits that much.
Do you know how many of the daughter elements were there to start with? Do you know for sure the rates of change haven't stayed?
We do our best to know as closely as possible.
But it's possible those things could be different, right?
No.
It's not?
It's not possible? Well, then you must have some irrefutable ironclad evidence, I assume.
Well, as you know, all life is life is built on DNA. And DNA is an information system and a language system. So, do you have any evidence that matter produces a language system and matter produces...
Uh-oh, what are they here? Factard in the chat is saying nobody's got sound? Is there
Oh, I can hear you fine. Stop there. RJ here. What intrigues me, of course, is that dragging in poor Ken Ham going against Bill Nye, who, although he knows a lot about physics, isn't necessarily quick on the draw, being able to explain stuff about the origin of atoms inside of stellar systems. DeGrasse Tyson might be a little bit better on that. It's also quite clear that for poor Jaron to try to authority quote people who has never been caught dead within a mile of a physics paper is really pushing it. We know now, in the last 20 years, certainly, that you've got a sequence that forms the various elements. Hydrogen is what we start out with. There's a certain amount of helium in the early start of the universe. Heavier elements up through, I think, about carbon are formed in the side of the first generation stars, and during super then fused, and they know very precisely about how this is, and we can physically observe that in actual supernovas that have been papers about which the gang at the Answers in Genesis aren't going to pay any attention. To jump from that to then the DNA, which is another subject about which he knows nothing, is just a hop, skip, and a jump too fast for this guy.
All right. Very good. And I think you got to, when I make my pilgrimage to that stupid ark and that museum, which I have trouble even calling it a museum, you got to come. All right. Okay.
Oh, if you can pay my damn way, or if I could ever get enough money to be able to do it, I'd love to see it.
Right.
It's the question that I've been pestering, and of course Ken Ham never replies to anything. He just gorges stuff downstream. Is to ask him how many kinds of hypothetical arc of his. Can I have a list of the kinds?
Well,
and since I know how little is been by the baraminologists, boy, that's one I'm not going to hold my breath on.
Agreed. All right. It does appear we do have sound in the to the public chat. All right. That's cool. All right. Let us continue. I don't know why. I haven't figured out why we have Ham up yet, but we shall see.
Information. I mean, there are billions, trillions of bits of information in living systems. Can you testify to how information arose by natural processes?
Okay, Drink. I'm calling Drink. Look, you guys are smarter than me. How come I'm calling Drink?
I think I know exactly what you're going to say. So I'm going to just take a mental bet. Wait. Okay, go.
All right. It's the information thing. I hate when they do the information thing because that's another thing we can't get a definitive answer on. What the hell are you talking about? Information? Are you talking about the number?
I knew it. Yeah. I fucking knew it.
Is it the number of base pairs that you're talking about in a DNA strand? Is it the resultant? What results from it? What new traits? Or okay, all right. So you win 100 net points for you. Plus,
the best character here to play isn't in Answers in Genesis land. He's over at Intelligent Design land, who has been having his complex specified information arguments, of which he has managed never to apply them to actual DNA. And the difficulty is that we know from code breaking as a general discipline that it's virtually impossible to tell if is encoded in anything unless you already know there's information encoded in it, in which case you can analyze it. So if you're given a string in G's, and it either represents an actual living organism or no known organism on Earth because there are particular nucleotides at particular spots that would kill anything that had that, Dembski would never be able to tell the difference between those two, in the same way that an astrologer can't give you an up or down about the horoscope. You have two codes of which both of them are functional, be a natural mutation of the other. It would be impossible which one, if any of them, represented the original coding and which were variations on it. To do that and to apply that for a Dembski, that's already 800 miles away from little Cloud Sam, who again has never gotten some genetic data.
Indeed. Hey, Tao made it. Excellent. Tao Ceti, welcome. Welcome.
Good evening.
Hey James. A little bit thing. Yeah. Try hopping out and hopping back in because you're glitching out every now and then. Sometimes it blocks a word or two, and it gets rather annoying rather quick.
Yeah, I just had to rejoin 3 times to get mine to work out right.
Yeah, it's nice having awesome internet. Fuck you guys.
Oh, you should have heard him last week.
Coming in. I'm in the middle of the boonies right now.
while we're on a short break, if James is going to hop out and or RJ is going to hop out and back on again, Red, I don't know since you got big goings on tomorrow, I don't know how long you're going to be able to stay. Hopefully for the whole thing, but if not,
I'm going to try. Now, granted, I will be sleep deprived while driving through Florida, but it's Florida. Who gives a damn? So.
All right, pick me up one of those little alligator heads while you're there. I just thought, in case you don't,
we find them on the side of the road all the time.
In case you don't make the whole thing, you want to tell everybody what you're doing tomorrow, in case there's anybody that's unaware.
Tomorrow I will be traveling to Cape Canaveral, Florida, to see the Falcon 9 rocket, the launch of the CRS-10 mission. That is special because one, it is a launch from Launch Complex 39A, which I've been waiting forever to see. And secondly, they will be doing a boost back landing of the Falcon 9 first stage in the daytime. So that means it's going to be a repeat of Desert Files launch, but I'm going to be able to see it clearly with light all around, and I'm going to be making conspiratards cry like a little bitch with that footage. I guarantee you. I got, as of right now, 2 P900s, a LX200 Me telescope from Astronomy Live coming with me, 2 GoPros, a Lumix, and a Canon camera, all pointed in the same direction. So that means we have multiple layers of butthurt that will be coming in shortly. So it will be a tidal wave of butthurt. There will be streams of butthurt from the conspiratard community. I cannot wait. So, yeah, and we'll be broadcasting it live tomorrow on Hannah Zuby's channel. I will post a link in my G+, and you guys can share it with all my haters. And if you can do that, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Alrighty, good. I figure we should get that out just in case. So the daytime landing. So you're saying there's a difference, daytime, nighttime. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Oh. You see, when you go from now, the nighttime was very sexy. But when you go to the daytime, it's sexy stranger.
Okay, good. Now that we all know the difference between the two, we will be looking forward to your transmissions. All right, everybody's back in. All right, who the hell's messaging me now? What the hell?
Sidestrike, I think you misread my resume when you let me on here. I'm a political scientist. I'm not smart enough for this.
It's journalism. Trust me. My pug is smart enough for this.
Hang on. Let me ask you a quick question just to test if you're smart enough to listen to this. Okay, question 1: is gravity real?
Batman. Batman. He likes gravity. He flies. So no gravity. No gravity because Batman flies.
You know what? Still better logic. I say keep him.
Or he had supporting evidence. Mm-hmm. All right. Let us. I think everybody's in. We're good. All right. Steve was having...
Me, RJ here.
It's still a little bit.
Still glitchy.
Yeah, I can do nothing to change it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Mea culpa.
I'm gonna say, gotta send you a wife. We'll do a GoFundMe and send you a Wi-Fi hotspot. All right. Moving on.
I've already got a damn GoFundMe. You can use that one.
Oh, all right. Good enough. Hey, save that for the plugs at the end. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Here we are.
That's it? That's your evidence?
Here we are. That's evidence that life arose from natural processes? Seems more like a guess or a wish.
Drink.
How can you prove...
Did I hear a call for drink?
You heard a call for drink. You
Okay.
did. This common claim that you always hear from everyone, whether it be flat earthers, creationists, whoever, that all we have is speculation. It's absolute garbage. They don't understand the basis of evidence, how we get our evidence, how we figure out whether it's valid or not, the different forms of dating we have. They don't even care to look into it when that information is easily Googleable.
Excellent call for drink. Unfortunately, you don't get your plus 100 net points because you forgot to announce yourself before you said your thing.
Oh, damn.
You know what?
If I can just jump, RJ here. What we're seeing with Ham and this Jaron video is the what us argument that by going to where did life originate, where did the universe, where did marzipan originate, it allows them to not the other stuff other than think about. So the origins or bust trope is the very first thing that lower level creationists go to, and even higher level creationists will get to it eventually because they don't want to think about all that natural science stuff.
Indeed. All right. Oh, and you seem to have stopped roboting near the end. Wherever you're standing now, stand right there. All right, here we go. And all right, and I was just kidding. You get your plus 100 net points anyway. Moving on.
Woohoo!
That rose by natural processes. How do you prove that?
We haven't proven it.
Well, then that's a belief.
Yes, but
Bill, do you not understand beliefs? I may not agree with Ken Ham either, but at least he admits that he starts with.
Okay.
Drink for not letting Bill Nye finish that sentence.
Good enough. Good enough. And I know of no.
Oh, and by the way, I'm Hillel. Snuck right in there.
Oh, you sneaky. All right. Nicely done.
The belief and
Sneaky
builds his
Sneaky's a
worldview
different
around
Antonio
it.
video.
You, on the other hand, pretend that you're starting with evidence.
science changes. That's the fundamental thing, everybody. Science changes.
So your views you have today could be wrong?
Absolutely.
Because, as the Bible says, it's so evident that there's God. I mean, you look at DNA, a language system, an information system. We never see evidence that came about.
Drink. Okay, you beat me to it. Go ahead.
My name is Shawn. The Bible makes no mention of DNA, so for him to jump to a DNA argument is already a fallacy.
But
yeah, it doesn't mention dinos either, but they just write it in retroactively.
Yeah, but
he did just say the Bible states and then jump directly into DNA. The Bible makes no mention of it.
But Shawn, God did it. Checkmate. All right, here we go.
By natural processes.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Can you give me an example?
Example of what?
He said we never see a language or information system arise from natural processes. You said, well, I claim we do. Then he said, can you give me an example? You said, an example of what?
We never see evidence that came about by natural processes.
Well, I claim we do, so we disagree.
Can you give me an example?
Example of what?
Seems like science wants to just make claims without backing it up with evidence. Bill Nye then tells these people that we could be descendants from Martians.
Which is more crazy, though.
But you're saying we're descendants of Martians, and that's not crazy?
I say it is not crazy. It's extraordinary, but not crazy.
Okay,
and
so
we have a process by which we can prove that. That's what's so exciting.
Prove that we're Bill, I want you to do that for all these young people. Prove that we're descendants from Martians.
I can't prove that
Yes,
right
with
now.
absolutely no resources, just in the middle of a crowd, out of nowhere, just produce it now. Produce it now, or it's not real.
Plus, there was a subtle
twist. You can
twist.
see how effectively deflecting the argument. It sounds like Donald Trump at a press conference. That we're already off on an irrelevancy about that we might be descended from Martian meteors. And good gravy, you got to trip these guys up at the fundamental area. If somebody had used the reptile-mammal transition or something where you've got a much stronger data set, you'd be able to pull the rug out from under Ham because you'd be able to hit him on his turf. Ham has structured the debate. It puts Nye on the defensive, and he sounds weird to the target audience standing watching him, and that's a disaster.
Yeah. Plus, he twisted the question.
He is literally on his turf.
He twisted the question from that it's not crazy to think that we could be the result of some microbe from Mars or something like that, and then when Ham said, "Here, prove to all our young people that we are descended from Martians." So I mean that's a little. Now, how are we criticizing it? This is not a Ham film. We did not do a Ham movie night. This is a Jeranism movie night. Let's hope.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, let's hope he gets into some of his.
He's sucking off.
Is Jeranism seriously going to Ken Ham to see? Yeah, this is how you should criticize science.
Maybe.
Flat Earth is a subset of geocentrism, which is a subset of young Earth creationism, which is a subset of anti-evolutionism. So it's very few examples that I know of, in fact, I can't think of any offhand, of any flat earther who is not a geocentric young Earth creationist for biblical reasons. And so it's natural he's going to be sucking off the worldview of Ken Ham. He's certainly not going to be pulling off Carl Sagan.
Probably
But he's
not.
bringing in Ken Ham so he can say, checkmate, atheists. You're wrong.
Nice accent.
No.
It's my real
irony.
You're going to be very surprised about what Jeranism pulls out of his butt here in a few minutes.
All right, here we go.
No spoilers.
I'm looking forward to it.
I thought you said we
want to send spacecraft there.
Okay.
We have a process by which we can make this discovery.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting lost here. It's a process to help us make better guesses, so the age of the Earth is just wild speculation. You admit, then, that you might be wrong.
Yeah, but you can have multiple tree rings in a year, correct?
But be that as it may.
So then your interpretation of the age could be incorrect, correct?
No, absolutely.
So now he's jumped in on tree
rings.
rings.
100% correct?
My interpretation with respect to the age of the Earth in this regard is absolutely correct.
No, we're asking
and
about
furthermore, Mr. Ham, your interpretation is absolutely wrong.
Must be great to be a man of science.
Did somebody yell drink there?
Oh, I should have.
No, you heard the idiot bump his mic.
No, all I said was "dear guy" because I already debunked the claim of the tree ring dating already. By the way, Ham, just as a bit of a heads up, it's called dendrochronology, you piece of shit.
But you can't pronounce dendrochronology in that accent.
The weird part is that poor Bill Nye is walking around a museum that has display after display after display that you can just pull apart if you know what you're looking at. But the problem is that Nye, apart from watching a couple videos that the National Center for Science Education showed him of Ham, he's not up on what he's seeing. And the Ark would have been a spectacular opportunity. I would have been calling attention to all the things that are there, the few therapsids and dinosaurs and stuff that they have stuck around in the displays. They've actually got one therapsid inside the Ark, supposedly, to point out how little Ken Ham knows about the content of his own museum. And Nye isn't knowledgeable enough to be able to pull that trick off.
Oh, there's a bunch of good stuff in that Ark. Did you see he claims that they had a moon pool? You know, moon pool, the hole in the bottom of like research ships so you can access the water, that sort of thing. That was for air circulation. Moon pool.
Have you seen the dinosaur with the saddle?
Saw the dinosaur with the saddle.
Oh yeah, creationists have been illustrating humans fiddling around with dinosaurs and little Chinese children leading a little stegosaurid cousin around on a leash in their kids' books for at least the last 20 years. So this is a trope that's been knocking around for quite some time, and it's perfectly understandable within their framework that they would try to get audio animatronics guy, the guy that actually did all the audio animatronics displays for their museums, works for Disney. He's quite a heavy guy in the special effects department, and apparently a young Earth creationist Nimrod.
Yeah.
If anyone happens to want a really good history on young Earth creationism, I've done some research on the subject, and there's a book by Ronald Numbers called The Creationists. Fantastic, really in depth.
Okay.
Anyway, when does this have anything to do with flat Earth? I'm wondering.
It's supposed to be coming.
As soon as the Ham section.
Sean says it's coming. I trust Sean. So
also quick note here.
If I had the timestamp for when the Ham sections ended, I would just say jump to that. But I don't know exactly what time he stops.
All right.
Extreme irony is Answers in Genesis does not accept a flat Earth.
Yeah.
Ham is the last person on Earth he should be invoking as an authority figure here.
Well, I don't. He may not be. He may not be making the Ham as the authority figure.
What he's
just trying to attack Bill.
Science.
Yeah. He's going after Bill. Is what he's doing.
It's a simple thing that he's always been doing. Essentially, he's going to go after somebody and claim that, just because this one person said something that I think is wrong, therefore all of science is wrong about everything every single time. It's complete horseshit.
And then, of course, he doesn't get to be put to that same standard.
Yeah, but he's not going to hold Ken Ham to that standard. He's
to himself.
Biased that way.
Jaron doesn't get to be put to that standard.
Well,
to back up that point, earlier in the video, he did say that science only goes by what it can guess, and it doesn't produce actual evidence. Or they make assertions without evidence, and that's exactly what Jaron does, 24/7.
Indeed.
Yep.
So
all right, moving on.
So the hypocrisy alone.
Really.
Also, just quick note, just because I didn't want to just let it slip by. Did Ken Ham just say we can't know the age of the Earth because of tree rings?
Yeah. That would be probably a long bit of laundry list. Remember, Ken Ham isn't very knowledgeable about his own young earth creationism. So he's just got a series of little tropes knocking around in his head, largely based on the creationism that he imbibed when he was coming up in the field in the 80s and 90s. And I've been following very detailed the kinds of stuff he does on his blog. This guy does not pay attention to the edge material at Answers in Genesis. He's not that sharp.
It's a surprise of literally nobody. All right, can we continue now? Finally, holy shit!
Wait, yeah, really,
I don't
we're
wanna
4.5
let this slip
minutes.
by. Since hey everybody, sign here. Since Hillel mentioned the tree ring thing, to play devil's advocate here for a second and stick up for the creationists. The oldest tree living that is still above ground is over 5,000 years old. So that puts it under the young Earth creationist time of 6,000 years. So they're good there.
Yeah, and some apologists for regular GM dating do kind of go overboard in their attempts to go into the dendrochronology issue. Where it becomes interesting is that you've got a very detailed case of how the dendrochronology data can correlate with other historical data to show that it's very accurate mapping through the historical frame, and yet we're supposed to suddenly not pay attention to it when it goes back. You can get some examples from fossilized tree trunks, even though the trees aren't actually living, to extend back farther. And then, of course, that same principle that they use to undermine tree dating, they're also used to undermine glacial varves and all of that that's used that can extend back in ice cores and that back hundreds of thousands of years. So it's a handy little litmus test for him to be able to disregard a particular form of dating as a way of jujitsuing everything that uses a similar kind of inferential logic.
Indeed. All right, I would propose from this point forward we not call drink on any hamisms.
Thank you.
We got to get to the Jaronism-isms. So here we go. It just for hamisms, let it slip by.
Or a fanboy. When you make claims, you claim fact. When asked for evidence, you say we have it. When asked if you could be wrong, you say no, but that the great thing about science is that it always changes. So now don't get me wrong, Ken Ham certainly isn't helping much either. Both science and religion are a problem. They indoctrinate kids into a world of beliefs, and I'd rather not believe in God at all if my other option is Ken Ham's first blood, animal killer, sacrifice demanding, jealous, and wrathful God.
Oh my.
Okay, I'll let you say that. You know what, young people, and everyone here, God gave clothes because of sin. The fact that we're wearing clothes.
Yes.
That quote cost Jaron almost 6,000 subscribers.
This is what happens when he goes off the pattern. The pattern is he wouldn't be saying anything about his own stuff yet. He'd be going through every conspiracy theory known to man so that whatever his followers believe, they're happy with him. That way when he gets to his point, they don't even care what he's saying, they just agree to it. He went off the program, and that's what cost him the subscribers. So here we go.
Is a reminder that God killed animals and clothed Adam and Eve, the first blood sacrifice, they're covering for their sin, pointing towards the fact that someday one would come to die for our sin, die for your sin, Bill, and die for mine, be raised from the dead, and offer a free gift of salvation, and he offers it to you too.
Thank you.
Ken, can you maybe understand why Bill Nye might be a little standoffish about the God you just described? I mean, why don't you just read Psalms 137, 8 through 9? O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy is the one who repays you, as you have served us. Happy is the one who takes and dashes your little ones against the rocks. Or Leviticus 26, if in spite of this you still do not listen to me, but continue to be hostile towards me, then in my anger I will be hostile towards you. And I myself
Jaron been
will punish
listening
you
to
for
Sam
your
Harris?
sins 7 times over. You will eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters.
But
I
some
will
of
destroy your high
some of his
places,
ex-subscribers
cut
have
down
pointed
your
out how he's
incense
cherry
altars,
picking
and
from
pile
the
your
Bible
dead
now.
bodies on the lifeless forms of your idols, and I will abhor you. I will turn your cities into ruins and lay waste your sanctuaries, and I will take no delight in the pleasing aroma of your offerings. I will lay waste the land so that your enemies who live there will be appalled. I will scatter you among the nations and will draw out my sword and pursue you.
Jaronism,
Your land will be
we
laid
can
waste,
read.
and your cities will lie in ruins.
And
there is a happy medium, folks, and it's found when you trust yourself. You trust what's inside you. Now, there is something called the scientific method, that when used
bullshit.
correctly can help us find the truth. Bill knows all about the scientific method, right?
How do you handle a flat earther?
Oh, you guys, there's not that many flat earthers.
Yeah, I don't think that.
It's not a big, and it's not a real thing.
I don't think it's. I think these are people who are desperately in need of attention.
In medieval texts, you find references to round Earths. There hasn't been a real flat Earth person in a long time. And you guys, we have pictures from space. If you're not happy with that, go on a cruise. You get over the horizon, you can't see land anymore. Why is that? Try it yourself. Don't take my word for it.
There you go.
Next time there's a lunar eclipse, look for the Earth's shadow on the moon.
Wait, what was that again, Bill?
There you go.
Next time there's a lunar eclipse, look for the Earth's shadow on the moon.
Gotcha. All right. Flat Earth, it's not a real thing. Hasn't been a real flat Earth person in a long time.
Roughly, critical thinking involves at least three things. You have to start with a claim. The claim has to have a way that it could be shown to be false. In the case of if I say the Earth is round, and you say the Earth isn't round, we have to agree on a method by which we could show that the Earth is not round. But then, in that one example, every time you try to do that, you find that the Earth really is round. And then you have to respect authority. You have to agree on somebody that's an authority.
Wait, what? I thought the scientific method was to ask a question, do background research, conduct a hypothesis, then test it, then analyze your data, and then report your results. Am I missing something? Oh, I never saw
something
those
he
two
never
steps.
does.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. Go to an authority, seek out people who say they know, and put your trust in them, and then ridicule, laugh at anyone who thinks outside the box. Say that they
Drink.
don't.
Yep, that's exactly what he said.
Okay.
All right, let me go back here. Oh yeah, my name is Rhetoric. I'm that ugly fuck from Florida. Anyway, when it comes to he could actually just slide those up to analyze your data. Maybe there are people who are more qualified to analyze certain bits of data than you are. Like for example, I could give you a very complicated mathematical proof. It's a proof, but because your name is Jism, you wouldn't be very useful in deciphering the mathematical proofs. Now, would you? But it's a proof. It tells you exactly everything you need to know, just in numbers. But because you're a fucking idiot, you don't know how to read those numbers. So would it be invalid for me to go to, like, let's say a mathematician, or in your case, someone who is in second grade, and say, hey, could you read these numbers for me and tell me what it says? 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, so there's 4 apples when I put 2 apples and 2 apples together. Oh, see, that's what it means. That's what he's talking about, Jism. Of course, you didn't understand that because you're a fucking idiot. We forgive you. Not really. Go fuck yourself.
Excellent point. That's the one instance where you'd want to pick an authority to have faith in their answers. The others is in people and organizations that have resources that we don't. Much as I like, I don't personally own a clone of Hubble. Those who do, I'm going to have to say, you can get information that I cannot.
Here, what we're dealing with here, and it's rather an indication of how Nye uses that loaded word authority. What I like to call it is an experience of what people, both in and outside of the scientific community, have done over years and years and years. We have a historical record we can plus, so we can see more recent experiments. And when you look at all of that track record, if you can argue the track record for the Titanic was not particularly good. And so it's not that you're appealing to authority, you're appealing to the fact that you've got all of this information available. And the only way that somebody can show that the Earth is flat is if they remove 99.99999% of the data to be able to parse things in a way that will look like what they want to be true. But boy, they're not going to be paying attention to the track record then, are they?
Honestly, if this is Jeranism we're talking about, he would be on the ass end of the Titanic and saying, the ship's not sinking, my end rose 200 feet.
Well, y'all is forgetting, y'all can't see no curves, so they ain't no, the Earth be flat.
So, yeah.
Sounds legit.
That was my drink. Sorry, guys.
Okay, good enough. Here we go.
If they bring facts, ridicule them, they're idiots. Makes sense. No chance to be deceived there.
So we got to work together in a partnership to show that there's a way to know that the Earth is getting warmer because of humans, and then we can all work together to resolve it. What do you say? Come on, everybody. It'll be fun.
How could you deny an appeal such as that? Amazing. All right.
Yeah, how could you even question that? Considering the timeline shown on the screen is the entire Earth history according to science. So 4.54 billion years ago, and then you see that little red circle there on the far right. That's just taking that 0.14 billion years ago. So let's draw that out into a much larger timeline. And now we'll see that that's just 140 million years ago till the present. So let's again take that final little niche there, that little green line, which is only 2 million years. Let's bring that down one more step. So now we're just looking at the last 2 million years. And let's look at the little blue section there, and let's zoom in on that final blue section, which is only 31,000 years. And let's look at that timeline and realize that little bit at the end again is just 650 years, which is probably at the most the longest they've been doing climate studies, which is actually probably 100 or 200 years. But then you want us to believe...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to look all the way back to realize that humans are kind of fucking up the climate of our planet. You don't need to look that, because that sharp little tick up in the graph, yeah, that's quite extraordinaire. Let's look at that graph. Can you show that graph? Oh no, you won't. Why? Because it shits on your parade. All of a sudden, as soon as humans started pumping a shitload of CO2, the temperature has been gradually increasing. Gee, I wonder why.
On top of that, Jaron also slips a cog here because obviously all the science that has been done only recently. But when we're looking at something that happened 100 million years ago, yes, we're doing the science on it now, but the data relates to something in the past. And we've got an enormous amount of science literature on the role of carbon dioxide in the planetary temperature going back hundreds of millions of years. I've seen a chart after chart after chart where you can track what the temperature is on the planet versus the CO2 level. More CO2, warmer planet, less CO2, colder planet. And so when we look at the amount of CO2 that we're pumping in, looking what that's done in previous times, well, duh, it's going to get warmer. It can't avoid it. So
Yep.
it's fascinating. I'm to take it that Jaron also has a problem with climate change.
Yep, he has a problem with all things that science say. But and as a side point, it actually is going to be fun to fix. I don't know about you, but ludicrous mode in a Tesla Model S is pretty fun. I say go for it.
I was going to call Drink for him not being able to line all of his timelines up with each other. But yours was better. Yours was better.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, yours is still valid. It's very important.
All right. Moving on.
The humans, which have only been around a few thousand years, have affected the climate. And you know this by looking back at the 4.54 billion year history of the Earth. Bullshit.
These a lot of you guys are kind of giving us the same questions. So to Chris and Zachary and Jared and Burton,
it's worth a response.
Okay, you're up.
The thing about Jaron is, humans haven't been around very long, so therefore we can't have an effect on the climate of the Earth. Just makes no sense. It doesn't matter if we've been here for 100 million years or like 200 years. That doesn't impact how much we've been able to impact the climate of the Earth. If we're impacting it, then we are, and if we're not, we're not. How long we've been here has no impact on that.
Mm-hmm. We've been doing a lot of things like, I don't know, building cars, buildings, and fucking like rabbits. So I'm pretty sure that we can do quite a lot to screw over this planet.
And we have. Okay.
And we have, exactly. Wear condoms, people.
and Jim and Jai and Christian and Tina and Dakota. We're not going to get to you guys, but we just wanted to say hi. Thank you. And we love you and thank you.
I wonder what all those same questions might be. Could it be, how in the world can anyone accept a model where 95% of the known universe has never been observed? Could it be that? Could it be, why does anybody accept the globe model when there's so much nonsense involved with it? They'll find one thing that they think debunks the flat Earth and go off on it for 3 weeks. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that doesn't sound like anything
I mean,
flat
you
Earth people
can't
do.
just look around.
No, of course not.
If you
They
can't
go
just
off on
see
it for
the truth-
years.
Plus, drink. There's no need to debunk because no credible evidence has been provided to support the flat Earth. So there's really
Another good point.
There's no need for debunking there. All right.
I mean, the only thing I've done in my videos is do what you guys said. Hey, buy this camera. Okay, I did. Hey, go out and observe a ship. Okay,
No,
I did.
red. That's bullshit. So you didn't just go out and buy one camera. You went out and bought all the cameras.
I bought all the cameras. All right, that's what I did.
You put them to
Darren, the
good
way
use, by the way.
The question, how often has he visited the edge of the Earth? I like to ask the flat earthers that, and none of them have actually visited the edge of the Earth. I wish they'd take some pics.
Oh, they've
Yeah,
moved on.
I'm still trying to get flat earthers to explain the pole star conundrum. Good luck.
Yeah, they've moved on.
Oh,
but
actually,
there
I
is
got
no
an
edge now.
answer from Anthony Riley. Remember him?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
the
thinks
douchebag that thinks the pyramids were a power source?
Yeah, that guy, that gem. So he thinks that he does agree. He believes in a flat Earth, but he also agrees that there is a southern pole star, and he thinks that the reason for it is he thinks it's like it's. He said, to quote him, or at least paraphrase him, he said it might be the pole star of another realm.
Oh, realms, yes, that's
So
right.
crazy
He
bullshit.
to make an analogy. He said it was like we were.
I don't need an analogy. Trust me, the image is vivid.
Well, you know what? But you know what, Red? Fuck off for a second. So he said it's like the craters on the moon. How if you had two next to each other, and the Polaris is the pole star for us, and then Sigma Octantis is the pole star for the neighboring world, sort of thing.
Are you sure this wasn't erotic J.R.R. Tolkien fan fiction you were reading?
I am pretty sure. I am at least 20% sure.
I see a lot of flies and it's starting to stink in here. Let's keep going.
All right. On to the bagpipes now.
Then you need to get your head straight.
Oh,
Truth's
God.
right in front of you.
Oh, God.
You need to stop believing in these charlatans, or else I saw the wee moon.
Oh no, this is worse
and
than
a immediate
anything else.
observation with my own
Make it
camera,
stop, please.
with my own eyes, with my
Oh,
own
for fuck's
experiment.
sake.
With my own experiment, we did a wee experiment with my wee own eyes.
Oh my
And hey,
god.
guys, it just proved it. My wee observation, my wee experiment.
Red's accents are
with
better
my own
than
camera.
that, and he can only do one.
Disproved the flat Earth. The flat Earth disproved it, guys. Guys,
Yeah, we did
guys, I
disprove it.
disproved it. I disproved it with my own eyes, my wee experiment.
This particular segment, I think, is why Slender Skeptic was considering not joining us tonight, is because he's from there, and this,
I'm not far away, but fuck.
This offended him so
Dick
much.
Van Dyke's talking better than that Scottish accent.
Is it possible we can skip his incredibly deplorable accent?
I agree.
All right.
I can't even. I mean,
I need an
I can't
actual
understand. It's hard for me to
assertion to shove
understand.
up his ass.
It's hard for me to understand that accent anyway.
Yeah.
But he's just taken it to a whole new level and just not saying words anymore.
All right, here we jumped up a
He
couple of
literally
minutes.
repeats himself over and over again through the whole segment.
Oh my god! No.
All right, here we go. With this, I jumped a few minutes forward. Hopefully, this wraps it up. I see folks walking away, so they're getting tired of it too.
Can't work, guys. Can't
No,
work
no.
on flat Earth.
Nope.
No.
Still doing it.
Oh god, no.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
No.
For fuck's sake!
This has got to be the end of it.
Fuck, dude.
I'm just,
Don't pick on
Oh,
bagpipes.
oh.
I like bagpipes.
here we go. All right. This,
Actually, I think I know why he's doing clips like that that are so long and so stupid is because the YouTube algorithm changed. You get paid by the minute of view now, so now he's got to do a lot of filler.
really? Okay.
Cheeky bastard.
Wow.
You know the problem with that is that it makes too much sense.
You know, just for the sake of humanity, we should re-record that Scottish voiceover for him, just so no one else ever has to hear that again.
That would be a kindness we could do. All right, here we go. Yes.
Should actually just cut it out completely. Go.
All right, going.
So it comes down to our observations, and do they match what we're being told? Because does the globe work? Well, sure. People can travel, commerce works, planes fly, boats sail. But does that mean it's true?
Yes.
Well, just remember to
If it
include
works
the endless
from a
space
pragmatic
around you,
standpoint, then yeah.
the vacuum of space, and the closest star at 25 trillion miles away.
Oh, fuck off with
To
this
get there in
shit.
a
You can't
year,
travel
if you
there
were
on a
traveling
baseball. Get over it.
non-stop, you need to be
Drink,
going
drink,
2.8
drink, drink.
billion.
Up, heard a call for drink.
Okay, technically the closest star is 93 million miles away.
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah, something like, isn't it 4 light years or something like that?
Stickler.
Nah, he's talking about the other star. Good old Sol. All right, here we go.
Oh. That
miles
doesn't
per
count.
hour, which is 4 times faster than the speed of light, but who's counting? Yeah, go outside, and it's
Wait,
right
you said
there.
a distance was faster than a speed.
So you can believe what you want. But if you're being lied
Whatever.
to, wouldn't you want to know? So let's start to look at some observations and see if we can start to see things a little differently. Here we're looking at some car lights on the freeway.
Okay.
If you notice, the further the light, the brighter.
What?
So we'll have a few more
Where?
examples
What?
coming, but first...
They're not brighter. They're just more massed.
See,
Yeah.
The further the light, the brighter. Oh, okay, I'm
No, that's the opposite of how lights work.
Yeah, that's not really drink worthy. That's just babble. All right, moving on.
No. Hang on.
One of his
Okay.
optical problem.
What am I?
I know the issue that he's referring to. I think what he's actually referring to is the lights that are on the left side of the screen, not the tail lights that are on the right side of the screen. The reason being, Jism, I don't know if you understand this, but we have this thing called a light beam, a light cone, if you will. If you're further away, the cone is wider, and therefore you're in the beam. If you're on a fucking bridge, like what this video seems to be filmed from, and the car is about to travel past you, therefore you're above the beam, which means it's not going to be as bright. So yeah, you're a dipshit.
I can guarantee you are correct with his what he does not understand here, because we went through a multi-day back and forth on Twitter that the concept of an isotropic radiator, what was and is not, it went on for days. So yeah, good call. That's
I had a multi-day conversation with this guy about how lenses work and what chromatic aberration is. All right, you're not telling me anything I don't already know. It's pretty bad. This guy has his head wedged so far up his ass. I tried to pry it out. I bent a crowbar. Okay.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to try to point out something about redshift right here with the cars on the left versus the cars on the right.
Oh god.
As long as he doesn't pull out a Fresnel lens like we saw 2 weeks ago. All right, here we go.
The cars are going away from us. All their lights are turned red, so redshift.
I see. All right, 15 whole minutes in, guys. Look at this. In only 49 minutes. Here we go.
A reminder that you need to keep your eyes open. Don't fall
Wait,
asleep
what?
to the world around you, because that's exactly what they want. They want you rushing around while you believe that the Earth is spinning. Take a look at this beauty right here, and remember that you think the Earth is spinning.
No, we
Spinning
know the
and
Earth is
flying
spinning.
2.2 million miles per hour. That when you see a sunset, it's because you're falling with the Earth backward, away from the sun.
What the hell's that mean?
See, people don't realize the concessions we
No,
must do to believe.
drink.
Okay.
I'm calling that one.
Okay.
No, you fucking idiot. No. No. You're on the Earth, the Earth is spinning. And sometimes you're going to be on the side of the Earth that's not facing the sun, and then the Earth will eventually spin into the sunlight. That's how it works. Nothing to do with falling. You're confusing you being on the Earth with an orbit. Get your shit together.
Exactly. All right. Let the babbling continue.
Is tautology.
Alrighty. Here we go.
In the globe. As the sun moves away from us, it gets slower. Anyone can check this. Globers go around claiming their perfect system, which is by no means perfect. If it were perfect, we'd have 12-hour days at the equinox, which we don't. And you'll hear that the sun
Drink.
moves 15 degrees
okay.
per hour.
All right.
That is a complete and total lie, and that's verifiable every 6 months.
Wait, you're not saying that Mr. Jeranism was inaccurate in his statement, are you?
No, there was no inaccuracy. It was just an outright lie.
Oh, all right. As long as he wasn't, I'm good. As long as he wasn't inaccurate, I'm good. If it was just a lie, okay.
Along its path throughout the day. Yet at sunrise and sunset, it moves slower, about 15 degrees in 65 minutes. For those of us that are awake and interested in truth, we know why. And so get this. As sure as fanboys are about their science, their physics, and their facts,
Oh God,
they
here we
just
go.
ignore or don't understand the
How
many
dare you,
problems with their
facts.
system. On a
Yeah,
recent
drink on that one, RJ here.
Okay.
You notice that he slipped in a jump that he didn't actually do. We all know why that variation in the sunset occurs. Has he ever said why there's a variation in the sunset on a completely flat Earth where the Earth isn't moving but the sun supposedly is?
No, that
Chemtrails.
Offered any evidence for it from his own framework.
No, actually, I think there have been several different reasons, none of which made a whole lot of sense. But I mean, basic geometry, the whole moving slower, less angular speed does make sense, and that's not rocket science. All right, moving on.
Bob and I, we're discussing the madness of Saturn, its rings, and its 62 moons. With 2 moons in the rings, and with Janus and Epimetheus, who pass so close that they periodically exchange orbits. Many of the moons orbit in the opposite direction, and 16 of those moons are tidally locked. So Bob was just saying that we need a supercomputer to even calculate the motions of those moons. Well, let's see how Red's Rhetoric and friends.
Oh, a shout out!
That comment.
Oh, great! I have a shout out.
After he said he was done with you.
Yeah, about 16 fucking times. I could do it right now. Yeah, 3-body diagram is not going to be that complicated.
Oh God, there's 2 of
So
them.
Red said he can do it right now. So a 62 body problem, I'm assuming would be pretty tough considering, well, maybe Red doesn't know this because, well, he probably wouldn't have said he could do it right now. No one has ever solved a 69 body problem. Nope. Not even a 39 body problem. Nope.
Can
Not a
someone
29.
drink?
Oh, okay, call drink. Go ahead.
Can someone explain to me then how we know the position of Saturn's moon for the next 175 fucking years?
God did it.
Oh, Jism, listen, I understand flat earthers lie. It's just what flat earthers do. But you have got to get better at it. Holy fuck.
Well, I doubt seriously that poor Jaron has ever got within 100 miles of any of the technical literature. All he does is know how to put little tropes and pictures and stuff up on the screen. He's not going to be reading anything, let alone studying Newtonian dynamics to be able to work out any of the math himself. And don't let him do your taxes.
Oh, come on. He does reading.
No. You will get a knock on the door on the IRS. If the Joker isn't crazy enough to go against the IRS, neither am I. Fuck that.
But Ken Ham was. Or Kent Hovind.
Hovind, yes. Moving on. Here we go.
Body problem. Or even a 19 body problem. Or a 10 body problem. Or an 8 body problem. Nobody's ever done a 6 body problem or a 5 body problem. 4? Nope. Okay, 3. Alright, a 3 body problem at least, right? Just like the Earth, Sun, and Moon system. They can solve for that, right? Survey says, with just 3 bodies, there are 2 forces acting on each, and each exerting forces on the other 2. So that's a 9-coordinate system, and in fact, the problem has a non-analytical solution, meaning it can be solved by approximation only. They can pretend that the force is constant, which it isn't. And they can take a small time period and approximate the solution. But if you're talking...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, RJ here, boy, he seems to forget a really obvious thing, that with all of our supposedly inaccurate approximations, we send probes with enormous precision out to the outer planets. And what the analogy that I've heard was that trying to send a probe from Earth to Jupiter is like taking a golf swing on in Los Angeles and hitting a golf ball all the way to New York and have it go through a window on a moving train and hit the inside of land in a particular hole there. That's how precise it is. And they do it all the time, so long as they don't forget to switch from English to metric, which they did on some of the Mars probes. So, again, he's putting up a delicious little straw man to imply that those things aren't really good. Like you can't solve a perfectly accurate multi-body problem for when you walk out of a window instead of a door, but I can tell you they can estimate pretty close as to when you're going to hit the ground splat.
Yep. Can I just point out a few examples of this? New Horizons. They were accurate within what, 30 kilometers, and they had a window of opportunity of 80 kilometers to achieve a certain orbit, which they achieved. Cassini, not only did it achieve orbit at its body of choice, but it undergoes changes in its orbit as mission parameters dictate. The Juno spacecraft, which was completely awesome in every single way, shape, and form. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, that one worked in every way, shape, and or form. And we also had the fucking Rosetta mission with Philae. I mean, that we fucking landed on that shit. And you're telling me that our approximations are not accurate to such an extent that you do not believe it, but yet it's good enough for us to land shit on other shit in space?
Well, to take it another step, we have predicted down to the minute every solar and lunar eclipse for the next how many thousand years?
Too many.
Too many. We're not going to be alive to see.
So there's this three-body solution right there.
Even been a problem with Newtonian calculation because when that was stuff in the 17th and 18th centuries and Laplace, you got a fantastic amount of detail. That's the reason why you got 4004 in the date of the Earth, according to Bishop Ussher. They had to accommodate the fact that they'd worked out by retro calculation when a lunar eclipse had taken place when Herod died.
Yep. All right. So let me just say this directly to Jism. Jism, hey, listen, Red here. I'm that ugly fuck from Florida. All right. So here's the thing. Remember pi? No, not the kind that you shove in your mouth. I'm talking about pi, as in the value pi, 3.1415, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Here's the thing. You're never gonna get the correct answer with pi. It's an irrational number. The best you're gonna get is an approximation. But just because the best you're going to get is an approximation, does that mean it's invalid if you calculate something to, like, let's say 10 decimal places? If I'm tiling my fucking bathroom with circles and I calculate to 10 decimal places and it's good enough to have a good looking bathroom floor, does that mean my bathroom floor doesn't exist? Does that mean that I did something wrong? Or is 10 decimal places good enough to achieve what I wanted to achieve to begin with?
Oh, you and your real-world examples.
Real-world examples.
We'll actually do it and stuff at us. Well.
Yeah, it's just as good as being perfect. And so if you don't like that, well, tough shit. Nothing is perfect. I mean, we might be off by a millisecond here or a kilometer here when we're talking about a trip of billions of kilometers. And yet, all of a sudden, we have this douchebag thinking that, you know, he's perfect and that his flat Earth theory, there can't be anything wrong with it. Oh, wait, there is. Never mind. Sorry.
All right. Hey, speaking of which, this is a bit of a non sequitur. Red,
did anyone see Stephen Hawking's series that was on PBS earlier in the year? One of the episodes was on measuring the curvature of the Earth. And they did it just spectacular.
With the laser?
It just brings back repressed memories.
And that actually, that was a...
Yes, Jaren covered that, and Red actually did a two-part debunking of Jaren's video.
Yep, two-part debunking of that shit.
Oh, by the way, Red, is your trip to the lake still on?
That's what I was going to ask.
Trip to the lake is currently up in the air at the moment, but I'll get back to you on that. All right, let's continue.
When will you get around to tiling my bathroom?
All right, moving on.
You pay me enough money.
Here we go.
Talking about three bodies and exactly solving for the motions of those bodies using the inverse square force of gravitational and electrical attraction, it is impossible. The problem with the three-body problem is that
electrical force. When we're talking about
electrical force.
Electrical? Wait a minute. What? No. Gravitational, dipshit. Stay there. Okay.
There is no gravity. It's all electromagnetism. Remember?
Electromagnetism. Okay, yeah.
That's the helicopter even clamoring about that a while ago.
And they have no idea what they're saying. They have a word that sounds science-y to them. electromagnetism, not understanding that there are electric fields and there are magnetic fields, and it's a wave that alternates between the two that is an electromagnetic wave. Oh, like light.
Side strike. Quick question. I personally like ranch on my word salad. What do you prefer?
I am a
if only the guy
balsamic
had used
vinaigrette.
gibberish instead of using words that actually have meaning, it would be more obvious that he doesn't actually understand them. But by using words that have meaning that he doesn't understand, it kind of leads all the rest of us astray.
Yeah, but during this last segment, though, this is what worries me. He used a lot of terms correctly, and I've heard him before using a lot of terms and ideas correctly, which may mean that, and this, I hope all of you are sitting down, right? Which may mean that his entire presentation, all of the presentations for that matter, might just be pure dishonesty. I hope I hope everyone was seated. Okay, I could see you're seated. I didn't want anyone to tip over from that revelation, but all right, we're at 18 minutes.
I never attribute to it dishonesty what can be accounted for by tortucanosity. It's way easier.
Gotcha. Here we go.
I was with you right until that last word.
Oh, you got to look at my website to find out about damn tortucans. I go into it.
Hey, plugs later.
Oh yes, I remember that from last week.
Plugs later. No plugs now. Moving on.
Well, except in a very small set of goofy scenarios, like if you had 3 identical bodies with 3 identical orbits. But when it comes to 3 unique bodies, the exact behavior can't even be written down. Computers can simulate or approximate, but that's it.
Okay.
In fact, look it up and you'll see that when you have more than 2 bodies...
Okay. Shawn, you're up.
Again, we still have the entire solar system mapped out in a predictive form to where we can actually say, okay, in 3 days I'll look over there, and that's exactly where this planet is supposed to be. We have at least a, just a bare bones, 9-body problem already solved for thousands of years.
And may I submit also the Lagrange points. Every geosynchronous satellite occupies a Lagrange point. People can use phones off of a satellite ping because they're stationary. They're operating exactly the way the gravitational phenomena work. We can actually spot the little simulated at I think it's the L2 and L4 that are 60 degrees forward and backwards from the planet, that all of that works out because that gravity crap works and they can calculate it and predict things.
Indeed. Okay, here we go, folks.
You can just abandon the idea that there are any other bodies. So let's see Red solve for a 3-body problem first, and then he can jump and show us 62.
He's calling you out.
All right,
He's
let's
calling
get back
me out.
to our
Hang on.
observations.
I would actually like to go ahead and take this moment to say that Astronomy Live actually did the math live. So, Jism, if you are listening, of course you are. You love me. I'm personally inviting you onto my channel, and I will do a 3-body problem right there in front of you. And if I do a 3-body problem and I'm able to predict where the moon is going to be, let's say in 20 years time. 20 years time, I won't look it up. I'm not going to do anything. In fact, I'm going to have you pick the date. I'll have you pick a random date, and I'm going to predict where the moon's going to be, what phase it's going to be in, whatever the case is. And if I win in those 20 years time, now I'm not saying you have to suck my dick, but I will find a dick for you to suck. And
any dick
and then you'll probably do that while I'm filming it in 4K. So hey, do you want to take that up? Try me, bitch. Try me.
Okay, here we go.
Just a quick reminder why I feel the need to question NASA and JAXA and SpaceX. Remember that NASA says this Gemini 4 footage is real.
It is.
I've sped it up and I'm showing it to everyone here. Please keep an eye on the Earth. I will play the video twice, so watch it for the next 20 seconds. Keep an eye on the Earth.
Look at the giant balloon mess.
We're watching.
Jaron, speeding something up doesn't make it look more fake. It just makes it look weird.
Well, maybe while he's
sped up.
At least while he's playing this, he's not talking.
So, if you've ever wondered
oh shit,
why
you had to go and say
so
something,
many people have turned their back on science, Well, it's becoming obvious.
Wait a minute. Where's this point?
I mean, look at that footage again.
Okay.
And remember, science says it's legit.
Okay, wait. He did.
Science doesn't say it's legit.
What he's trying to
reality says it's legit.
Well, exactly.
Hold on. What I think he's trying to draw attention to is the fact that the Earth is changing its direction of rotation. He's not realizing that the camera is mounted to the spacecraft, and this spacecraft is rotating because they didn't have RCS at the time.
Indeed, and he employed the old. The best proof there is in the flat Earth world. Look at how fake this looks.
Yeah, that's about it, really.
Why? I was on a boat on the ferry boat crossing across the Puget Sound many years ago, and moving like back and forth on there, and it was getting really dizzy. It's because it's on a moving platform.
Indeed.
I tell you, it's fascinating. Some people will just be incapable of connecting up the most simple of commonplace observations, and they just can't apply it because they're Tortugan ruts. They can't allow the thing that they want to be not true to connect up with their own experience. It's just sad.
Indeed.
Just curious if anybody knows, were those cameras they used on Gemini digital or film?
Film.
They were
film. Yeah, film at the
time.
Cameras, yeah. And they had a hell of a time using film to do CGI back then. Trust me, it was a pain in the ass.
Tell me about it. Just ask every single filmmaker from that. You tell them, hey, how did you guys fake the moon landing? All those times back. You were a prominent filmmaker back then. He will reply with, "Are you on crack?"
Kubrick, man, it's all Kubrick.
Indeed, and. Hey! Look at the public chat. Looks like where the hell to go? Oh yeah, Stephen Markowitz has a solution for you, Jism. He's volunteering his dick.
Oh, he's volunteering. Okay,
lad.
He's taking one for the team.
I like it.
Taking one for the team.
Here's the thing. And if I'm able to predict with mathematics where the moon is going to be, and the moon is part of that three-body problem of the Earth, moon, and sun. If I'm able to predict exactly where it's going to be in 20 years' time, and it turns out to be the case, will you promise me that you will suck Steven's dick while I'm filming it in 4K? You want to try me, bitch? You want to try me? How confident are you? Let's do this.
So in essence, you're predicting where Steven's dick's going to be.
His dick is going to be in his mouth, and now Jism, listen, you're going to have to practice your cupping action and your stroking action.
And the gravitational impact of the dick on the mouth will be relatively trivial but calculatable.
All right, let's go. Let's get going before the FCC steps in.
Yeah. The funniest thing is you can actually do it.
Says men have walked on the moon. Science says
you can figure out the effect of a person with a spoon waving it over a teacup. It's a calculatable amount. It's not a hell of a lot of tides, but they're there.
Proof that robot is on Mars? Well, there is none. You just got to take their word for it. But they did see a slight upward kick in the Doppler residuals. And I'd kind of like to deliver an upward kick to the Doppler residuals myself.
Running
Here we have a
into
man
the lake
that's
there. Can
running
we
away
hope
from
that
us.
he keeps going?
So what is happening because of him getting further and further from the camera? What
Wait,
is happening?
is he
Well,
trying to
clearly he's
discredit the
getting
Doppler
smaller.
effect?
He made reference to it, and then he's got a guy running across the beach. I got kind of lost there. Could be because
This is so easy to demonstrate. Just wait for something with a siren to go past you.
Indeed.
You'll
hear the change in the change is audible.
Obviously, things
Who
get
hasn't
smaller
heard a damn
as
train
they
go
off.
by?
Oh, he's talking about smaller. He's going for perspective again. They always screw this up. So let's see what he says. He's talking about
Yes, perspective is causing the Doppler effect.
Yes, for reasons.
Into the distance. So, do you put your trust in scientists because they're all about testable, repeatable, and empirical facts, right? Because this shouldn't even be questioned.
Okay. Yeah, bullshit. This is another example of the strategy. This is another example of the strategy that the goddamn flat earthers use. Put something painfully obvious in front of someone so they say, "Oh, look, Jeranism is speaking truth." And hopefully the rest of the bullshit will slip by.
Further something is away from you, the smaller it will
The,
appear.
the Doppler effect isn't about things getting smaller. It's about their wavelength changing in measurable ways that we've been able to do in a spectroscope since before he was a fetus.
Yeah. He was talking about perspective, but he keeps throwing in Doppler for some reason. But maybe he'll tie it all together.
Separate issue.
He'll either in the next. I predict he'll
Let's
do
bring
one
in
of two
plate
things.
tectonics while we're at it.
I don't think we use trigonometry for Doppler effects, but okay, Jism. Tell me where you're going with this.
That's because you're using spherical trigonometry.
Of course, which is absolutely not that.
Euclidean or non-Euclidean space.
All right, I predict that he will go one of two ways when he's done with this. He will either wrap it all up so it becomes clear why he was making these two distinct references, or he'll jump to another topic. Those are those are my predictions. Let's see.
Let me guess.
Let's see.
Have someone drive a car away from where you're standing and watch as it goes away, and the car will get smaller and smaller.
Okay.
You know that.
And this has what to
Especially
do
when
with
you're
Doppler
talking about
shift.
things on the ground. So there can be nobody who doesn't at least understand this fact, right?
Yes,
Go to a
everyone
seashore
accepts that.
And figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. This is a joke, right?
No. Yeah, well, Spain is so small when you're looking at it close up, and then it gets farther and farther away, and then it's just really small. So it's understandable why no one can see Spain from New York, because it wasn't very big to begin with.
Yeah, hang on. Can I just? I believe what he's saying is that it'll be far too small for us to see. Jism, a quick thing. Now, you might still have a hemorrhoid from the last time I shoved this fresh bit of information right up your ass sideways with no lube. But remember that equation I said to you. Let me repeat that. Alpha equals 2 times the arctan of g over 2r, where alpha is the angular size of the object, r is the distance to the object, and g is the actual size of the object. And guess what, motherfucker? If you were standing on the coast of Africa and looking towards New York City, in order to get to be the same angular size as the full moon, you would need a child's telescope. Let me repeat that for you, Jism. A child's telescope to see it in full. Explain to me why we don't see it, you fucking idiot.
Doppler shift.
Yeah.
All right.
100 times magnification. My Nikon P900 zooms to 2,000 millimeters, and I can go to digital zoom to make it as big as that 100 times, because it does digital zoom to 200x. So this motherfucker has to tell me how I can be in Cape Canaveral, Florida, looking outward, and I'm not seeing London. Holy shit, dude.
But my perspective.
All right, here we go.
And who are you? And why are you in my house?
You look right over there. You're on candid camera.
Good one. All right. I knew something was up.
Breaking and entering is hilarious.
So it all makes sense now. So, man, you guys got me good. I knew that there's no way he could be a scientist. I just knew that. So, is everything, the moon landing, evolution, all of it, the ball Earth, it's all an elaborate setup? Sir? Sir?
Who are you talking to?
Where'd that guy go?
Ooh, a guest star.
Guy?
Who? The guy from Candid
Drink.
Camera.
Okay. You're up.
Okay, I'm not actually going to reply to this video. I'm going to reply to Steven. Steven, on the date when this whole thing happens, please don't wash like anything. All right, I want you to go to work and do the sweatiest job ever while wearing a rubber suit. Really seals in the flavor.
And have some swamp pass.
Yes.
Okay. On that note.
I'm so glad I stayed
No.
up tonight.
You mean it's all real? Like Bill Nye really is that dumb?
Yeah.
You mean scientists actually think we went to the moon?
Yeah.
Jared,
They believe in
please
evolution with
understand
zero evidence, no facts?
Comedic timing, if anything. If
yeah.
you're not going to understand factual accuracy, at least understand how to be funny at it.
So was the whole point
All right.
of the
Let's get back
beginning
to
part
the
with
genius
Ken
sci-
Ham to discredit Bill Nye? Was that his only point?
And science in general.
And the Bible.
Not science.
So just alienate everybody.
Yes, remember it's scientism.
Yeah.
It's scientism. So we can call it a religion. Ham calls it a religion.
Just like Jaron-ism.
Yeah, that was one that I thought of as soon as he started with that scientism crap. Jaronism. All right, here we go.
Scientist.
Just go to the middle of the Mississippi River and look south. Why can't you see the Louisiana? Why can't you see New Orleans? What's the problem there? Well, then climb a tower.
No, child abuse.
Now,
Jonathan, do
if
you
you
have
know what he's
something?
doing here, he's not actually addressing the question. He's just doing little stupid sound effects to avoid the question.
Jaronism, the ability to edit doesn't make you more smart.
Yeah, Armored Skeptic actually called him out on that when he was doing his reply. He said something along the lines of, "Yeah, all you do is actually say, yeah, whatever, play a funny clip as if that's supposed to discredit what I'm saying. No, that's not how this works. See, what I do is I debunk you and then make fun of you. I don't just jump to making fun of you. That would make my videos way too easy to make. No, I actually put a little bit of effort, a little bit of math, a little bit of science, a little bit of observation, and then I make fun of you, which I'll be doing a lot more once you start sucking Steven's dick."
Fred, we all know you're not going to wait 20 years in order to do that.
All right, here
You
we
know
go.
what? I think the wait would be worth it.
I feel so less bad about my video now.
Oh yeah, you were. I told you I loved that video. Hearing you just go off your best videos you make when you're angry.
And remember, I'm just a terrible person, so it's okay.
All right, here we go.
Or go to the top of a hill or a mountain.
Is this real life?
Yeah, it's Bill
And you'll
Nye.
see a little farther, but you will not see to the other side of the earth, places we know to exist. For example, I've been to London. I can tell you, other people have.
Okay, now.
I've been to
Okay, now.
Vancouver, British Columbia.
I
And you cannot see Vancouver, British Columbia from Boise, Idaho, let alone from New York City or Toronto or what have you. Just start there.
All right, is there going to be any refuting?
Then
Or
if you'd
No,
like,
there is
look
not.
at pictures from space
I'm just going brain dead.
Why is this happening?
where you see the Earth as a sphere.
Is that
We
not
don't know,
how you
kid.
guys
We
do it?
don't
That's
know.
my strategy.
Is this going to be forever?
Well, the kid actually did ask a very good question. Why is this happening? Because Jaron's a retard.
Okay. Good point.
Or ship. And go out at sea, and you'll notice you can't see infinitely far. Furthermore, if you get into it enough.
Jeez, can we skip the sound effects?
I really am sorry, kid, and I hope it's not going to be forever. So let's
Yeah,
rewind a little
please
bit.
don't
Bill Nye
confuse.
said, from the East
Jaronism,
Coast
you're using the Mercator map.
of North America, ask yourself
Whatever.
why you
Yeah,
can't
matter.
see.
Up. Comment? Somebody?
Didn't I already reply to this by saying that all you would need is a 100x telescope to see, for example, at least the lights of New York? I mean, we're talking about New York. Wait for it to be dark, okay? And you should at least be able to see the lights on the shore. For fuck's sake, if we can't see that at all, that means that they're being blocked by something. Gee, I wonder what it could be. Could it be the curvature of the fucking Earth?
They've come up with some bullshit to respond to that too. I'm sure you've heard that it's your eye can only see so far. Completely misunderstanding that it has nothing to do with your eye. It's how far if there is light arriving, it doesn't matter if it comes from down the street or Alpha Centauri. Your eye will see it if light arrives. There is no distance limit.
Because if you raise your altitude, you suddenly can see farther. So your eye can only see so far is bullshit right out the gate.
Yeah. Your eye is a receiver. It's not. It doesn't transmit vision out in every direction, so you can see everything.
So there is
that actually used to be the theory back when we still thought that bleeding yourself out would cure stuff because.
Now, does Jaron? How far away does Jaron think the moon is? Just an opinion on it. Ooh, well, then how come when we reflect lasers off of the moon, and we've got laser reflectors
happen.
on the moon,
Doesn't happen.
that
Doesn't happen.
It's all fake. The moon's just a light.
Doesn't happen. All fake. CGI conspiracy, shill, Freemasonry, Nazis.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Those Freemason Nazis really know how to tinker with light speed. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Checkmate.
Because reasons.
Well, see, Jaren's actually addressed that. He said that it's only because NASA can test it. Even though you can go out and actually buy the equipment yourself and do it yourself.
Yeah. People could actually look at these damn things if they feel like it.
All right, here we go.
Spain. All right, so let's look at the stupidity that is the scientific mental paradigm that has not opened his mind, as science should. Rather, it closed it. Why would Bill do any investigation? He already knows the truth. The Earth can't possibly be flat because we can't see Spain from the east coast of North America.
And a shitload of other reasons.
Oh boy. All right, let's look at it. All right, and there you see a picture of the map.
It's been up
from
for a
the
while,
east
Jaren.
coast over to Spain, which is 3,616 miles. Should we be able to see across
How can he
the
be so
Atlantic Ocean?
sure of that 3,600 miles? Has he walked it? Aren't we accepting the official measurement of the distance to Spain, Mr. Jaron?
And what's he doing using this map as evidence anyway?
To Spain?
Yeah. Do you
The
believe
intelligent
those
scientist
authority
says that
folks?
we
What
would if the
about
Earth was
the
flat.
triangular Earth that I am going to present?
However, if we just look at this one picture here, taken 35 miles from the One World Trade Center, we can see it way in the background there. It's tiny. So what would it look like at 70 miles?
Get a telescope.
Do you think you'd see anything?
That would help.
How about 140 miles? How about 200 miles? How about 500? How about 1,000?
How about you shut up and actually
2,000?
do something?
How about
Yeah, let's get a lens that's
3,616?
not designed to photograph long distance and not
gotta be a
photograph
joke.
long distance.
There's no way.
Hang on.
Jaren isn't
Can I-
all about doing observation himself. Go out somewhere with a telescope and prove that over any given distance that something just becomes invisible because of reasons.
Okay, let me.
Well,
let me
on that
let me
show, they did this delicious experiment where they and they used a laser that fired out to the boat, and as the boat went out onto the lake, I think this was down in Colorado, it was a big enough lake, that you could see the boat getting lower and lower and lower, so that the laser was hitting higher and higher and higher on the boat. And eventually they had to switch because they were so far away that they switched to a helicopter and used a telescope where the helicopter had to rise down in order to be visible through the telescope because of the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
Yep. I made a two-part reply to that bullshit that he was making. That was one with Stephen Hawking. But let me also point this out. In Jeranism Flat Wrong Part 1, as in already debunked over a fucking year ago, Part 1 Jism, holy shit. I filmed a rocket launching from my house in Tampa, and the rocket was 150 miles away. I filmed the rocket, but yet you're saying it was impossible for me to film these buildings 35 miles away? How was I able to capture it 150 miles away? Tell me that. Suck a fat one.
See the damn space station floating by with your eyeballs.
We don't. It's a drone. It's a drone.
It's a drone. Or balloon. It's a balloon. That's the latest one, too.
Yeah,
All right.
I filmed the space station. I mean, I took a picture of Jupiter. I have the clouds of Jupiter on my fucking camera. I filmed Saturn, and these fuckheads at least think that Saturn is 3,000 miles away, whatever this Saturn is. So right then and there, even if you use their own messed up model that doesn't have any predictive capabilities whatsoever, you can still see objects that are a lot further than what they're saying is impossible.
They're requiring their own argument to be internally consistent. That's just plain not fair.
That's just plain not fair. How rude of me.
All right. We're almost halfway through. We may not make it to the end of this if he keeps it up with the rapid fire stupid. Here we go.
That man is that dumb. But like I said, it's a scientific paradigm mind trap that some people may never escape.
That's one of them Jedi mind tricks.
All right, so now we're just going to go through some of the observations that we see in our lives and talk about what we're actually seeing versus what we're taught. First here, somebody may think that what we're seeing is land coming up over the so-called curvature, when clearly those are mountains getting bigger because they're small because they're off in the distance. This here is a tunnel, which can give people a good understanding of how the sun would work.
This again.
How the sky works. That at a certain distance, the ceiling meets the floor, and that's what's happening in our daily lives.
Yeah.
The ceiling touched the floor.
Drink.
Okay, we had a lot of calls for drink on there, and I even called one. But I was just going to say half a sun at sunset. Shut the hell up. But
yeah. Okay. Listen, Jism. All right. I don't know if you. Obviously, you don't math, and maybe you don't English as well. But parallel lines don't intersect by definition.
No, it's
Except in
even
Euclidean,
simpler
non-Euclidean space. That's another.
If he would take the time to actually look at that picture and look at the lights on the ceiling, you notice as they get farther away, they get closer and closer together, even though they're the same distance apart.
Yeah.
If the
David
Earth was
McCauley.
flat, if the Earth was flat and the sun was moving in that fashion, it would get slower and slower and slower until it almost looks like it stops by the time it got anywhere close to the horizon.
Yeah. That's what I've always said.
Just for argument.
The architectural historian did a
He's not even seeing the contradiction in his own.
great moments in architecture, and he did one of the little bits was visiting the vanishing point in the 8th century where the line acting at the edge of the picture. That's kind of the world that I think he wants to be true.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Illuminati robots took James.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, at this point, I'm going to have to tune out because I need to get some sleep so I don't die on my way to Cape Canaveral. I got some conspirator butthurt to film, so it's going to be awesome. So in the meantime, I just want to repeat my challenge to Jism. So if you want to show up on my channel, and I will make a prediction in 20 years' time where the moon will be. And if it turns out that I am right, using nothing but mathematics, solving that 3-body problem, then you have to suck a dick, which will be Steven's dick. And he has assured me in the comment section that he will not be washing at least a few nights before that while wearing a rubber suit. So if you're confident in the bullshit that you have been spewing, get back in contact with me. All right? Sound like a plan? For the rest of you guys, I hope you all have a good night and wish me luck tomorrow. I'm going to need it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And
Good luck.
If time allows, Red, send me any of the links that I'll tack into the end of in the description of this video, so people know. Anyone that doesn't know where to watch will know where to watch. Anything you're doing.
I'll be posting the link to the live stream on my G Plus as well as on my Twitter, so you'll have it on both. And so the live stream will be on Hannah Zuby's channel, and so tune in for that. It will start at 9:30. But anyway, guys, have a good one and take care.
Nice. Thanks for joining us, Red.
Yep.
All right. Are the rest of you ready to suffer through some more of this foolishness?
Yeah. Ready is not the appropriate word, but I guess we'll go.
Yeah, and I forgot to apologize for subjecting you all to all of this, so sorry. Here we go.
It's my fault. I suggested it.
You can clearly see
I've read
that it
all
is
of
not
Johnson's book. Nothing
a
hurt me.
spinning Earth that is causing the movement we see in the sun, and that should tell you that you're not spinning. And from there, we can observe things and see that the sky works just like this.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop the vid. Did anybody looking at the comments see Holly Smith's prediction as to what?
Yes.
Good call.
Trailer park in 20 years, yeah.
Look, Holly Smith, I got to tell you, don't be giving Trailer Park Meth a bad name.
Well, to be fair, I don't think you had to wait. To be fair, I don't think you got to wait 20 years for Jism to be smoking meth. I think he started like 20 years ago.
Could very well
He's
be.
going to still have to be doing YouTube videos or something because that crap ain't free.
Yeah.
That is true.
Do we have any chemists in here with us tonight? Somebody.
Here we go.
Tunnel does. Here we have another tunnel. Seeing, you can see it working the same. That's the way that the sun would set. Much the same as we see here. Only imagine this tunnel is a little bit longer toward the ceiling.
Obviously curved tunnel.
The hill.
No, it's just perspective. That curvature of the tunnel thing that the curved tunnel people are trying to push, that's crap. It's perspective. You curved tunnelers. You bunch of curved tunnelers, you.
I believe in flat tunnels.
Meets the floor. Picture yourself being in a bedroom as big as the one you're in now, but it being as big as your city.
So it's
you had a light
as big as the bedroom and it's the city?
I think I remember watching this.
Room,
This explanation makes no sense whatsoever.
I'm shocked. I mean, thank the flying spaghetti monster. I was seeing it while you told me that.
So wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. Imagine your bedroom is a bedroom, and it's your bedroom, but it's the size of a bedroom, but it's a tunnel, but it's actually the size of a city. And so imagine.
And you're on a
the
baseball.
bedstand is the size of Albuquerque, and then we have windows that are just as small as his brain, and that explains everything.
Indeed,
I would have room for 2 TVs.
You forgot that we're on a baseball on our way to Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, here we go.
The ceiling, once it got not very far away from you, the ceiling would meet the floor.
Oh, look, we got to the end of that thing that looked like it came to a point, and when we got to that point, it wasn't a point. What a shock.
If you're in a building where the ceiling met the floor, that building would have to be fucking thousands of miles long.
All right.
Designed by Max Escher.
And then if light went further off, it would then barely propagate a little bit of light, and ultimately it would eventually turn where you were at to be completely dark. Now look here, and we're seeing this family at the beach, and just look at the water and the way that it acts, the way that it operates, and then understand that all the water that we see there is below the feet
No, it goes in and
of
out.
this
You can't
family.
explain that.
Yeah, this
So why
below
does it
and
appear
above
to
the feet
rise
thing,
up?
I've never understood what he says.
Okay, do we need to... Oh, no, he should start explaining that now, right? We don't have to go back?
Mm.
All right, let's see what he says about the tide.
This isn't his hurdles behind hurdles thing, is it?
No, don't think so.
Okay, good, because I never understood that.
I did it, but I think
It
sounds like Jonathan's been exposed to this crap once before.
Mm.
All right, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. The Angry Welshman. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, I need to change my name to that. Yeah.
Forgot the new name. Here we go.
Gave away his secret identity.
Oh, I doxed you. I'm gonna get booted off. Oh heck. All right, here we go. So he was saying he's got something about the tide being below the feet, and this is going to somehow make sense. All right.
Which would be a better fitting model? Would it be the one in which the Earth curves down away from everybody because you're on the top of the ball?
Why is this
Or
upside
would it
down?
be the flat plane,
I don't
which
know.
the nature of a flat
Is it
plane would cause
Antarctica?
anything in front of you to rise to your eye level? Just
His
put this in
MC
here
Escher
just so you can see what you believe in, if you believe in the globe. That this is what's going on opposite your feet right now. And as
Oh.
heavy as this car looks like it's
Well, I mean,
coming,
relative to us, yeah, but not
Yeah.
relative to them.
No, they're perfectly happy. We're all upside down.
as impossible as it seems, gravity, which is the weakest force that there is.
What?
Persistent when you
Yeah.
walk out a window.
Yes, gravity is weak for that. That's why it takes a whole lot of mass for its effects to be, observable, like us sticking
Well,
to
I
the
mean,
planet.
Sidestrike, do you know? I know of nothing in the general vicinity of us that could possibly be a large mass that could be, letting off a lot of gravity.
No, what could possibly alter space-time?
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
It's the moon. That's what it is. It's the moon. It's the moon.
Could be.
Figured it out.
No.
Could very well be. Alrighty. Let the fuckery continue.
Actually holding the trillions of pounds of ocean water and that heavy
trillions.
vehicle and these roads and everything, holding them to the ground. I mean, look at this. This is clearly not happening in reality.
What? No, I've never.
Why not?
I've never traveled anywhere where everything was upside down and my head was getting hurt from being on the pavement. He's correct. This is not reality. I agree.
Jaren, you can't just take a thing and then say, hey, this doesn't happen because it's either dumb or it's just not because no reason at all, or just reasons. That's not good enough.
You
For
forget
fuck's
he's
sake,
the-
I
he's
shouldn't
the only
need to
person who
explain
can ever
this.
be right. So
Well,
I think this
he's
idea
going back
bumped
on
into
the
his
trope
head
that-
after listening to the song "Walking on Sunshine" too many times.
Yeah, no, he's just thriving on the trope that all flat earthers think that down is the South Pole.
You're gonna feel good.
Walking on sunshine.
Whoa.
All right, we may want to alter the whole drink thing to be a little. But anyway,
I told you I was starting with vodka.
Okay, yeah, that's when I responded. I was a little worried about alcohol poisoning because watching a Jeranism video and using vodka for every drink that could result in death. But all righty,
That's why I put orange juice in it.
there you go. But
Hydration.
yeah, what I still haven't gotten from these folks, and I've tried. I asked the question: is what defines down? Why is there a down? Oh, buoyancy, things go down. Well, okay, what causes down? You still got to throw gravity in there for any of that crap to work.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. I remember when Jeranism say, yes, it's caused by weight.
Yeah.
So he's not one of the accelerating Earth people. He doesn't believe we're accelerating upwards.
No, I don't think he is.
No, he's never made that. He's never made that pitch, and strangely, I have not heard that pitch very often lately. For I guess obvious reasons, because
Are there any of the Hollow Earth people that have done videos?
Hold on.
Because there's a tiny, small number of those over the years that are kind of a minority compared
Hold on.
to others.
When I first started getting into the whole flat Earth debate thing in comments before I even thought about making videos, I actually debunked the whole the Earth is rising up to simulate gravity. Because I actually went through the calculations for the young Earth 6,000-year-old, and I went through the 4.5 billion years of the Earth, and explained how fast the Earth would have to be traveling right at that time I did the calculation. Which for the 6,000-year-old is like 7,500 times the speed of light, and for the 4.5 billion times or billion years old, it's like 7 million or 7 billion times the speed of light. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first. That was my first thought when I heard the idea that the Earth was accelerating up. So I think that's why most people don't accept it.
Well, but I think
Within
for them,
hours
it's a
of me
reasonable
making
layman's explanation. It's simple
Hold
enough
on.
that they
Within hours of me making that post on an Eric debate video, said, "Oh, that's just something the Flat Earth Society made it up to discredit us." So I actually got them. I actually take credit for getting them to stop using that little.
You caused a retraction. Nice. The
round of applause.
Indeed.
Round of applause. Yes.
And where it came from was basically a lack of understanding. What the people that were pushing that at the time, and there was more than one of them, was they just said the Earth was rising at that speed. They didn't say accelerating. That's what they didn't understand. They
all said it was accelerating. They said that it was accelerating 9.8 meters per second to simulate the gravity that we're feeling the force down.
Squared.
We're not being pushed up, just the Earth is.
Indeed, and not knowing that the effect is cumulative, apparently. Okay.
Yeah.
We have. Oh, we're at the.
At that rate, it would only take you about 7 months to accelerate to the speed of light and have all the mass in the universe contained in your body from the relativity effect. But oh well, who's doing that?
You apparently.
Alrighty, here we go. We're still in upside down land.
Might happen in mathematical world. Might happen in Sphere Town. But it's not happening.
Sphere Town.
For sure. This is not happening.
Like I said, if there's anything from these videos that we've learned, it's new words. So many new words.
Indeed. We have gotten some excellent vocabulary. Here we go.
And in this picture
like
here
that.
again,
Weird.
it's hard to imagine, but all that water is below the observer's feet. This gentleman in the black trench coat.
What's your point?
How is
Of
that
course, the
possible if it
camera is
looks-
above his feet.
Yeah.
But the camera below it wouldn't be there anymore.
You guess like
You know that all of the melting snow on my driveway is below my feet because I'm not in the driveway? It's amazing. I have an epiphany.
Indeed. And which part of that horizon is rising to eye level, by the way?
His head's above it.
His head's above it. So whose eye
Part
level?
of the horizon that causes Jared's ass to insert with his rectum.
I see. Okay.
Referential thing.
Gotcha.
Also, whoever took this picture didn't level out the curve horizon, and that is annoying me.
Indeed. And which part is rise? Oh, I see what's going on. It's like the tides. How the tides show up in one area first and then later.
The Earth. We're not getting any pictures of the edge of the Earth. That's just cheating. I want to see that so bad.
The guy that's actually going
I tried.
He's about to get.
I tried to tell you earlier. We can't go take pictures because it's being guarded by sharks with freaking laser beams.
That's why.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And due to a time delay,
together, like 5 or 6 of us all together, and put in a big boat with an anti-laser shark thing, that could maybe work, because you'd really get a lot of people amazed at it to be able to actually see the edge of the Earth for a change.
No, there are 400,000 gunships waiting to repel us, apparently. And looking at this picture, I'm guessing the right-hand side of the picture has risen to eye level. And it's just the left-hand picture is just, it does. The horizon does rise to eye level, just not all at the same time.
That's actually what causes tides all over the world.
That's it.
God just tilts the ball.
It's turtle quakes. Here we go.
Like it's much higher. Well, there's a reason for that. Rob Skiba just did an awesome video on it.
Oh my!
Basically, the moral of the story is
He's talking about
water
the
an awesome
ball.
video. Well, there, that settles it.
At all. Now, this image I made here is an attempt to show you what we would see if we lived on a ball.
Okay.
So pretend we're sitting down with our feet in these skis, looking out at the horizon and the ocean.
Okay.
And if we stood up, we would see this. That's because if we were on a ball, all areas around us would fall away. When in fact,
well,
they do
if
not.
your head was 800 miles high, I suppose you might be able to pull that little trick off.
Well, yeah.
Well, that or if
Really
the ball was
big
only like.
He's going.
Where is Jaron skiing next to the ocean? That's the place I would.
One of those
That or the Earth is only like 80 miles wide.
Well, this must be look, it's all white. This must be the ice wall. He's at the ice wall in Antarctica. That's where he is. All right, problem solved.
Jaronism, if you're listening, which you probably are, scale matters. Size does matter.
Always ignore that fucking math.
No matter what your wife says, size doesn't matter.
That's how you use it, guys.
All right.
My girlfriend told me.
Oh no. Alrighty. Moving on.
The water rising with us to our eye level is a clue of the surface that we stand on.
No.
It is a plane.
It doesn't.
That is
it doesn't
correct.
do it. It doesn't do that.
That is correct. It doesn't do that. And
scientists 1,000 years ago had worked out the little principles of optics. Like, this guy really needs to read up a little.
That might interfere with the narrative. I wouldn't expect that to happen. Plus, he does read. Let us not criticize. Yes, indeed. Let us not criticize journalism too much, because I happen to know for a fact he does read. He reads quite a bit, because every one of the stupid memes he puts up usually comes with some little cutesy quote on it, which he reads. So he does lots of reading, just on memes. Here we go.
Plus he's got to read a lot anyway, because he does a lot of quote mining.
Indeed. Also true. Okay. Here we go.
On the website Ask a Mathematician, the question is asked as to what would the horizon look like if we lived on a flat plane. And a physicist answers the question with, there'd definitely still be a horizon if the Earth were flat. It would be in almost exactly the same place and look essentially identical. While the Earth isn't flat, adherents to that theory are correct, and that it's nearly so, and if you're standing on the surface of a round something the size of the Earth, it's difficult to tell the difference.
Right.
In fact, mathematically, you can make the argument that a flat Earth acts the same as an infinitely big Earth. So you see, since they think that the Earth is a ball, they don't question what would it look like if we lived on a ball.
It just did.
Yeah. Now you notice the cherry pick there, don't you? He's totally ignoring the part where he says it's an infinitely big ball. He's also cherry picked or left out part where God, what did he say? I'm sorry, I'm tired and I just spaced it. It was earlier in the quote.
You want me to go back?
Yes, please.
All right.
How can something be an infinitely big ball, though? That's not possible.
I think he was saying
the universe theoretically is thought of as a sphere with, you could think of something geometrically as a curve, even if it has an infinite radius.
Oh, I
You
remember
can
what
play
it was.
around with the mathematics of it, but it would only need a ball that's really big to be virtually indistinguishable from a flat surface if you're, depending on how big you
Now,
are.
I
From
remember.
an ant's point,
I remember the part
flat
that
as
he
a
was
pancake.
told.
What do
I
you
remember
got,
the part
Shawn?
that he tried to leave out.
Hmm?
At ground level,
Yeah.
they would look virtually identical.
Indeed.
He's leaving that part conveniently out.
Glossed
I mean,
over it
and
a
if they
bit.
didn't look identical, and if we were on a sphere that showed a significant amount of difference, then obviously we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Indeed. Honestly, that's all we ask. Provide evidence. We'll all go flat Earth. Sure. Just give us real evidence. Alrighty. Moving on.
And look essentially identical. While the Earth isn't flat, adherents to that theory are correct, and that it's nearly so. And if you're standing on the surface of a round something the size of the Earth, it's difficult to tell the difference. In fact, mathematically, you can make the argument that a flat Earth acts the same as an infinitely big Earth. So you see, since they think that the Earth is a ball, they don't question what would it look like if we lived on a ball. Because, well, they think they know it's what we already see. But they're wrong. Rob Skiba just did an excellent video called The Flat Earth Trump Card. I have it linked in the description.
Also,
Check it out for
you're
sure.
automatically wrong
and you'll
because
see
of Rob Skibber.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
we'll have to reserve a slot for him in an upcoming movie night.
The air that has been sold to the people on this plane. And if you think science is always right, and they have it all figured out, well, the three-body problem earlier is evidence that they don't. And so is Michio Kaku's recent admission about the errors in the current idea of gravity and the universal model, the Copernican model, that's been around for 500 years. He said,
We don't use the Copernican
usually in
model
science,
anymore.
if we're off by a factor of 2 or a factor of 10, we call that horrible. We say something's wrong with the theory, we're off by a factor of 10. However, in cosmology, we're off by a factor of 10 to the 120th. That's a 1 with 120 zeros after it. This is the largest mismatch between theory and experiment in the history of science. Michio Kaku. So, they clearly aren't perfect. In fact, they're not even close. And if you think that science is all about admitting
what exactly? Yes, a pause here. Does anyone know what the hell Kaku was supposedly talking about?
From this quote mine, I cannot say for sure, but the fact that we know we're off by a certain factor would tend to indicate that science is working, no?
Maybe but see, the physics that I'm aware of regarding cosmology, I can't think of anything notable circumstance where they're off by that number of orders of magnitude. In fact, some of the calculations that they can do on like the gravitational constant and other sorts of things, are at razor fine accuracy. So I'm not at all sure what he was talking about. And of course, I have no confidence that Jaron has the clue as to what he's quote mining to be able to get what he wants to do on this one. So I'm completely at sea as to what he could be talking about.
Somebody remind me to dig it after, in the upcoming days. Somebody remind me to try and dig into where this quote mine came from. But is it possible that this may be part of an argument for dark matter?
Yeah.
That what he's talking about.
Now that is a possibility, yeah.
That he may have been talking about the fact that that galaxies, we got a problem. Galaxies should not hold together based on the amount of mass we see and the gravitational effect of that mass. That may have been what he's talking about. And I'm gonna forget. So somebody remind me to go dig in for that.
Kaku is somebody that annoys the hell out of me because he's always the talking head on all of these weird programs where they get him as the person to talk about it. And he has a tendency, he's not an incompetent physicist, but he does have a tendency to kind of run on a little much on oddball issues, including like multiverses and that. And so, I take him with a grain of salt on almost everything.
Indeed. But we really should. I mean, if we are going to be decent humans, we should. I'll dig into this. Okay, off we go.
Mistakes and changing their theories. Well, then you forget that scientists are men with egos and jobs and positions and fame. I'm sure they'll come right out and tell us that they're
the vast majority of scientists don't get fame.
No.
Oh, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Darren, who apparently is not a human being at all and has no ego at all, he's an automaton.
Completely and totally wrong. So quickly, let me show you the air. On their diagrams and calculations, they always show the eyesight of the observer, like letters C and D, as lines tangent with the Earth.
Which they would
usually
be.
With a leaning observer. The
What?
correct idea is to observe A and B. The eye line should be perpendicular to the Earth and parallel to the tangent.
All right. Okay, Drink. What kind of crap is that? What kind of crap is that? If you're looking if you're looking for something that has just appeared over the horizon, it would have to pass. Your line of sight would have to be somewhere in excess of a tangent to the surface of the Earth. I don't know why observer A is looking off into space and hoping to see object
exactly.
B.
If you're looking for something on the horizon, or as he pointed, or as he has it here at the curve horizon, if you're looking for something on the curve horizon, you're not looking way up in tangent up into space, literally or figuratively. You're looking down to try to look at the horizon because you're trying to look at the horizon. You don't care about where your eyes are pointing in relation to the ground around you.
Yeah, this little picture he made is silly in that it's not even science. It's basic logic. If you want to look at an object, you should probably look where that object is, not off into space.
And on that scale, that little red dot, if it's intended to represent a person, is representing something about 4 or 5 times the size of New York City, I think.
That's a big
I was
guy.
about to mention how off his scale is there, obviously.
He's not
scale.
He's not good with scale. He's not good with scale. There was a conversation about some of his pictures of what the light would do from the sun, and he's got the picture of the sun.
I had fun calculating that.
Yeah. All right. So
basically, for anyone who doesn't know, he was talking about how sunlight should be angled up during sunrise or sunset from any altitude at all, because fuck scale. So, and he showed an image of one of the little things he drew in MS Paint.
A factoid to put things
a
into
little house on a hill with the light coming in at about 32 degrees. So, and using a nice equation that I found, using a trigonometry equation, I calculated that the height of this building, if the light was in fact coming in at about 32 degrees, the altitude of the house would be around 1 million feet in the air.
Okay. And I think what we can take from his...
It's a disconcerting thing to realize that if the Earth were the size of a billiard ball, it would be smoother than the smoothest billiard ball. So all of the bumpy parts that we associate with mountain ranges and all that are just dwarfed by the cracks that you can find in a billiard ball. So that when you appreciate that scale matter, of trying to put red dots that are that gigantic is just screwing.
Right, but it is, this picture is educational in that at least from this we learn that the man at point A is so big that we don't want to piss him off ever. All right, let's
reiterate.
And it's very hard for him to buy underwear at Walmart.
I would imagine.
Just to reiterate
have you seen some Walmart shoppers? They carry the extra large sizes. Trust me.
Just to reiterate,
Dumb enough to think, hey, I want to look for an object on the horizon, so I'm going to look off way into space.
All right, you two talking over each other. Sean, what were you saying?
Just to reiterate a point I made earlier, if Jaron does watch this video, no matter what your wife says, size does matter.
Okay.
We look out at the horizon, meaning that the ground always falls away from an observer, no matter where you are on the ball.
Well, if you're looking straight up, then yeah.
Yeah.
They tell you that things are obscured by the hump of water. The truth is that they're never, ever.
Yes.
Hold up, drink.
Okay.
The only person who has ever asserted there is a hump of water is Jaron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there are humps of water. They're called tides.
He's actually,
Back and forth.
Well, and there are also ocean gyres.
A hump in several videos.
Well,
isn't it technically correct? I mean, if you define hump in a very strange way.
Well, he may be cherry picking because in the center of the ocean gyres there is a rising mass of water caused by the convergent forces of the various streams being pushed together into the middle. So there is a hump. That may be where he's sort of cherry picking that from.
And you think Jaron knows this?
What he's done what he's done is he's taken observer location, found a target location, and then called the gap between them the hump of the ocean.
Yeah.
The curvature of the Earth, he calls that the hump. He is the only person who's ever referred to it as the hump, and now he's trying to say it's other people saying it.
Well, yeah, and
of course, his analogy would be irrelevant if he were picking a spot that wasn't in the ocean. I mean, there's large stretches of the Earth where you can go all dirt all the way.
Okay, we got to get off. We got to get off of this picture. There's got to be something coming. Let's see.
Ever. As seen from the observer B, the Earth falls away from us.
Okay.
It never rises up.
Right.
Therefore, what we see when we're at the beach is proof that we live on a flat plane.
No, it's not.
Non sequitur. Oh Jesus! None of us called that. None of us called drink. All right.
That QED a little too fast there.
Did he forget about the physicist who he quoted earlier and saying that it would look roughly the same as if it was a flat Earth?
Oh my!
Well, maybe he has the attention span of a toast.
Again, you're requiring internal consistency of a Jeranism video. I'm not sure.
Well, why should he remember what he had only said a few minutes earlier? Yeah.
Oh, so this is what's that show? Short attention span theater. That's what he's hoping for. All right, here we go.
We are getting an example of the Doppler
breaking
effect
new
and inconsistent
ground.
mic technique.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 32 minutes in. Oh my God.
A sphere in endless space.
We are still not going to make it through this whole video.
No.
Let's look at some observations. All right, so let's use our eyes and actually observe what we see.
Okay.
Because people see a sunset or a sunrise, and they don't think about
muscular
what
rays.
we're told is going on.
Indeed.
So, in this particular case, at this sunset, that would be that the sun is stationary, and that the sunset that we're seeing is because we are falling backwards.
Oh, stop saying falling.
Yeah, again with the falling.
We're just rotating.
Yeah.
Nothing is falling, although the Earth is in fact falling around the sun. But Newton figured that one out. You know, that kind of child gene.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, he's technically. If you define falling in a particular way, then he's technically correct.
Well, we could call it sporangulating, and that would be about as accurate a use.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's a meaningless concept. There's no falling involved. The Earth as a body is actually falling around the sun, as the moon is falling around the Earth in such a way that it's in orbit. But that hasn't anything to do. It's the spinning of the Earth.
His logic is basically the Earth is falling around the sun, but just even that, getting away from that, he's saying the Earth is rotating, and so as we, from an outside perspective, we would be going around the other side of it. So we would kind of be falling in a sense that if you looked at it in a particular. I'm just trying to defend him on this. It's just it's weird terminology.
Okay, yes, we're slipping down the backside.
And how does he account for why the sun appears to rise in New York City than it does in Los Angeles?
Wait, I know this one.
Okay.
Refraction.
Okay.
Just refraction. Wow.
Are you sure?
Actually, I've yet to hear any flat earther explain why on the equinoxes why the sun rises due east, sets due west from all locations. I've yet to hear any kind of response to that. So actually, Jaron, if you're listening, go for it.
Eratosthenes used that very fact if you got a slave to march, hundreds of miles away so that you can be at the right spot and pace out the distance, you can measure the curvature of the Earth that way because you can tell at exactly that moment there is no shadow where you are, but there is a bent shadow farther away that shouldn't occur unless the Earth were a sphere.
Indeed. Oh no, he did that experiment using a table, Jeranism, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, with the average light bulb.
Yeah, and again with scale issues. All right, here we go.
Away from the sun,
by the way.
Really falling backwards.
Not very.
So that the sun passes below our feet. Well, we were given eyes to observe.
Okay.
And if you observe what is actually happening.
Right, because you can always trust your eyes. Like look at your desk. Looks pretty damn solid, doesn't it? It isn't! All right, sorry. got a little angry with Jeranism for a second.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
During sunrises and sunsets, if you actually think and observe what's going on.
Oh, during. I thought Jeranism called drink on himself. Okay.
Well, you can kiss being a globe believer goodbye. Because you can trust your eyes.
Though, he always states that this is exactly what is definitely happening, but he has no observable proof of that at all.
Indeed.
Trust your senses. And you can trust yourself.
He could be president.
Or you can trust men who are
that already happened.
Yeah, flat earthers are going on all the time about how, we can't measure certain things through the atmosphere because it plays with our eyes, and, and they have curved lenses and all that stuff. But now he's saying we can trust our eyes all the time. Or maybe not all the time, but at least in this instance.
Yeah.
Guys, he's just giving us the alternative facts.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it still hasn't proven that Spain is actually 3,600 miles away. I think it's 8 trillion or 45 feet. Either way.
Maybe it's both.
It could be.
Yeah, exactly. Who says it can't be? All
right. It is, you know what? It is time
Well, I mean, if your bedroom is a tunnel, is a city, is your bedroom.
Back in my bedroom again. I tell you, get out, man.
Indeed, and I'm a little uncomfortable being in Jaren's bedroom if that's if it's all the same with you guys.
Ooh,
anyway, now we have reached the 2-hour point. It is now time for me to it is now time for me to ask all of you folk and the folks in the chat as well. Do we continue with his foolishness or do we wrap it up? You guys call.
How long does this guy got still to go?
We are 33 minutes into a 52-minute video, so,
Sorry, how long?
We're not 20 minutes. We're good. A little under 20 minutes, we're done. Which is 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes of him. That's what? 4 days for us.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 days. You didn't carry the 4.
All right. my apologies. All right. Well, okay. There is a third option. There's either we call it or we continue. Third option is we'll continue until one of you shrieks, "I've had enough of this shit." And then
I like that option.
All right, so
I can go with that.
All right, all right. We'll let it go, and when one of you says, "I've had enough of this shit," we'll stop it.
Well, I could do this longer, but I am just dead tired now, and my brain is mush.
Gotcha. Hey, we appreciate you joining us, Shawn. Not a problem. So
you got that spherical Earth on there.
Yeah, well, I like my spherical Earth. It's provable.
But it's a flat image.
Yeah, that ballism.
Goddamn CGI.
So I will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Shawn. You do have a nice evening.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
And
sayonara.
Good night, Shawn.
Oh, look, he worked in a plug for me there. Sayonara. Did y'all hear that?
King of puns.
Nice. And, you've never seen us on a pun night. You're kind of new with the crew.
Yeah.
Wait till pun night.
You make another joke like that, and I'll strike you.
Oh, whoa. That's it.
I hand you my crown. Hand you my crown.
You're getting a raise, Hill.
Yes.
There'll be a little something extra in your shill check.
Yeah, you say that.
I keep waiting on mine to come. It never comes. I don't know. My mailman.
We have that too.
Well, Dev got his. Dev said he got his.
Okay.
It was.
I don't know. Maybe he was just lying to us.
Could have been. That's what we do as shills. We lie. All right. Let's.
So many people called me a paid shill in your comments section.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering when I'm going to get paid.
I wonder the same. I wonder when the checks are coming. Apparently,
I long for the day when I will be called a paid shill. When I'm called a paid shill, that's when I know I've succeeded in some capacity.
But if I get
have you not been on Twitter before?
Not in that way.
5 minutes.
if I get a check to the post that's signed by Anonymous, I'll be a bit surprised.
All right. Okay. Let's see what surprises Jeranism has in store for us, shall we?
By a factor of 10 to the 120th. A 1 with 120 zeros after it. The sun is going off into the distance. Again, picture yourself in a bedroom. Make that bedroom as big as your city.
Oh, back to
Only
this.
the ceiling is the same height as you have it now.
Okay.
So now turn, look to the side, and picture that you're looking off into the distance of that room. And you'll understand that within 100 or 200 yards maybe, the ceiling will eventually meet the floor.
No, it doesn't.
At infinity.
He means appear to.
So if you had one light that was responsible to lighting that whole entire room, and let's say that the light is on a circular tract that goes all
Why
around
would it do
the
that?
room.
That's dumb design.
Well,
oh, look at the comments.
Circular
look at the comments.
track.
I told you
Define
guys.
circular track. What sort of a circular? Up and down, around, laterally? He's kind of using another little term there that he hasn't actually worked out.
He means kind of merry-go-round style around.
Gotcha. And if anybody's checking out the comments, look, I told you guys, Dev did get his shill check. There he is. Hey, Dev, we're not. I don't think we're a full house anymore. If you're able to jump in, feel free. There is room. Okay, here we go.
the light would start leading off, and as it got so far from you, it would pass that line that meets the ceiling and the floor.
Wrong. Drink. No.
What? No.
Perspective does not say that. Do we need
No,
to...
the floor and ceiling only technically would appear to meet at an infinite distance. You're saying this? You're saying this? Not only the sun goes to an infinite distance, it goes beyond it.
Yes, to the point where it's not just meeting; they're intersecting and switching positions.
That's not. That can't happen. At no point, that perspective does not allow a thing if it's traveling away from you. The closest it will get it will appear to kind of go meet at the point in between where the ceiling and the floor would appear to meet. It will never go beyond. That is impossible in every possible way.
1,000 years ago.
Indeed.
Now wait.
Yes.
A long time ago.
In this room, is there refraction?
Well, if it's a city-sized bedroom, you know what? I'm going to have to say no, because all of the air theoretically should be of the same density, and with no density gradients, you should not have any refraction. Hey, Deb's in.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Science talk, guys. Science talk.
Oh, now we're going to
I
have
did it.
Deb's in. Now
I did it, guys.
Now we are going to have some logic nukes.
Hey, Dev, I want to point out one of your comments there in the comment section. You wrote bedroom again. Why not just a room? For Jaren's viewers, parents' basement would be more accurate.
All right, here we go. Moving on.
And at that time, while you would still see light, it would be like the light of a sunset. Soon after, it would be dark, or your side of the room would be dark. Would be night.
Okay, the light would drink.
Okay.
This man is not very bright.
No, he is not.
Hill,
you called drink on
that? The light would still always be visible. There's no point in when the light would not become visible anymore. Sure, it could become very distant and very dim, but you could still always see it. There's no point in when it would disappear. Not to mention, as many people have pointed out before, as it travels away, it should become apparent. It should appear to become smaller.
Yeah,
just something we just do not see with the sun in reality when we observe it in a proper way.
Explain how sometimes you can see stars at the horizon line.
Indeed, and let us not forget, there's still the point of, in this whole perspective argument, in your city-sized bedroom, at no point would you see half a sun, or half a light in his case. So, okay, here we go.
No longer see the light that was on the track as it has gone too far out of your eyesight. Take a look at what we're seeing here. Beautiful video of a sunset, and if you watch carefully, and I challenge you to please go out and watch this on your own, find somewhere where you can watch a sunset.
That's his challenge. Go watch a sunset. Okay.
It looks like the undersides of the clouds are being lit in that. Just pointing that out.
And do you notice his challenge is a lot more...
Is it fair to say that at no point has Jaren ever made, like, to scale to show us where he thinks the sun is when he talks again about the circular track and that?
Well,
there are all sorts of ways to orient.
That big.
All right, no, he has not. Just so you know, scale is his
Take
enemy.
a map of it. Of it so that you can see what he thinks happens. I can only conclude he actually has no idea what he thinks happens on that. He's just bandying terms about as though they meant something when basically his main mind is just stuck in that little bedroom.
So word salad, you're saying? Okay. I can't.
It doesn't. He doesn't really have a conception, because otherwise he would have a graphic. You could do a graphic of where he thinks the sun and the moon and the planets are to scale. You can measure it out theoretically. You can tell how far everything is, but test out and see how far you would be able to see, and so forth and so on. And we've never seen that. All we've seen is that one little weird curvature of the globe with the big red balls way too large, and then pictures of everyday objects that he can take with a camera. I don't see a map.
Yeah, because Jism has problem with scale and graphics.
Most true, most accurate. Alrighty, here we go again.
And you'll see that the sun is going further away. It's not stationary, and you are falling backwards, head over heels, basically.
All right, just let it go. Let it go.
To allow the sun
let it go.
to pass below your feet.
Let it go.
To the horizon line.
Yeah.
On with the,
The
wind
sun is
and
going
Does he think the
out
moon is doing
of
the
your
same
view.
thing when it sets?
Too far.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
Are you facing backwards no matter which way you are facing?
How does he account for the fact that all pictures you make of the moon are the same size? They're about the size of your pinky fingernail held at an arm's length. It doesn't get bigger or smaller, notably. Your brain decides that it looks big on the horizon, but the image of it isn't actually any bigger. The moon doesn't go far, and it doesn't come in and out like a pie plate.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, I mean, I've done this experiment myself. I went out one time. It was a wonderful full moon, and just took pictures of it from all the way from horizon to zenith. And I went over it later. I couldn't find any real change in size in any way.
Indeed. Yeah,
the sun doesn't get bigger or smaller ever.
I've never gotten a good response to the fact that the angular size remains pretty much the same. Now, over the course, well, all right, let it go. Here we go.
Far for you to see. Many sunrise and sunset videos you can watch will also show you if you can track the sun after it's gone off. It kind of heads off in the correct direction. It doesn't go straight down. It's going to head off. In this case, since the sun was setting left to right, it's going to continue on its left to right path. You can
Tilt of the Earth, though.
Oh, look,
left to right.
Yeah, but
it depends on what time of year. It sometimes it's rising straight up and down during the equinox from your apparent location. It'll be rising on an angle the farther you go because of the tilt of the Earth's axis.
Indeed, but he's trying to justify the fact that it really is moving in a circle like they show in their ridiculous graphic. So, all right.
Like on the little toy train he had as a kid in his bedroom. Now I see it all coming clear.
Exactly, it's that kind of thing.
So it really comes down to your observations. Do you trust your eyes? Do you trust your senses? We know that nobody on Earth has ever felt...
Drink, fucking drink.
Okay. I think there is... I think Dev called that one. Go ahead.
Not even 5 minutes ago, he was just saying, I can't trust my fucking eyes. And now all of a sudden it's trust your eyes, believe in yourself. Dude, kill yourself. Stop it.
Okay.
What you can't trust when you don't trust what you can trust. And if you keep on trusting the thing you can't trust, then you can't trust the thing except for the thing that you do. See, it's simple.
And, I'm going to have to post a picture with something to give you some scale as to exactly the size of the Mug of Truth. But thanks to you freaking geniuses, we are on Mug of Truth number 3. Just saying. Because of you guys pointing out every stupid thing that comes out of Jeranism's mouth, this is the 3rd Mug of Truth to go down. And I will post a picture of the mug.
This is why I'd actually never bring that ginger guy that I did the video on last time, because I think you'd all die.
Okay. Yes, don't kill the host. There would be no one to stop the video. It would run in a loop forever. Here we go. Okay, and nobody's going to scream, Jesus Christ, stop this nonsense yet? We continue?
No, but I am going to leave.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, again, I will say thank you for joining us. I'm glad you did. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I get it. That's a Batman reference.
That's a Batman reference, you bet.
I think I've got a
the 1960s
at the moment as well. I've got a busy day today.
Oh, you're heading off too there?
Yeah, it's about 7:15 in the morning here.
Oh yeah, you have to actually do stuff. I understand. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Who's before you guys leaving? Before there's any leaving going on, do you guys have any plugging to do? Angry Welshman, I know you have some plugging to do, but Phil, you want to go first?
SpaceX launch tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Oh yeah,
that's my plug.
That's good enough. Sounds good to me. And Jonathan, you're heading off too? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My apologies. The Angry Welshman. You're going to be heading off too?
Yeah. You know, just come over to my channel. My latest video is quite the funny one, to be quite honest with you. I enjoy the shit I'm making that video.
Oh, it's the best.
But yeah. I lost my temper. I'm sorry. Don't think less of me.
Oh no, not at all. I've always said when you get angry, you make the best videos. I would, to anybody listening, I would head on over to the Angry Welshman's channel, who will soon modify his channel name apparently.
Yeah,
and
I probably will.
Yeah, take a peek at his latest. He's not happy. He's not happy at all. All right, well, good night, guys. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Jason Ogden's got a comment up.
Yep.
Yeah, about why the moon appears so different. Well, that's all to do with how your brain processes information. That if you look straight up when the moon is high in the sky, it'll look like a little itty bitty object. You won't perceive it as a large object. When it's on the horizon, your brain is relating it to the horizon features, trees and mountains and other objects, and it's saying, "Wow, that's a big object far away." So the brain is altering your perception of it, and you can never not do that. Even when you know it's an optical illusion that your brain is generating, it'll do it automatically. But all you got to do is the pinky fingernail test. You can use that as a standard measurement, and the moon is about the same size as your pinky fingernail, laid out at about arm's length, and you can physically measure how big the moon is on the horizon, and same size when it's up high. So that's a case of how we literally live in a brain matrix, where the brain decides for you what it is you're perceiving, and you don't really have a choice in the matter.
Oh, yeah.
And if I were to decline?
Obviously wicked.
Mr. Anderson.
Well, I was going to say photos print in 5x7, but maybe that's just me.
All righty. On we go. Let the foolishness continue.
Any spin. We know that nobody on Earth has ever felt the 2.2 million mile per hour zoom through space that we're doing around the Great Attractor. You know, no one has ever seen a Great Attractor. No one has ever seen a sun that is 1.3 million times as big as the Earth. No one has ever seen that stars are other suns.
All right,
never seen the sun?
fucking drink, dude.
Okay, Dev, you're up.
Did he really just say no one's ever fucking seen the sun, bro?
I don't think that's what he meant to say, but yes, that's what he said. No.
It's not what he means. It's what he said.
Yes,
no
you are
one's
correct.
ever seen the sun.
You are correct. That is exactly what he said. What he meant was no one has evidence to prove its magnitude or size. But what he said was no one's ever seen the sun.
Just go ahead and drink twice, because that was stupid.
That's definitely.
Has anyone ever seen Deverick and the sun in the same room at the same time at the same place? I don't think so.
Hey, man, I'm not going to say I'm Spider-Man, but we're never in the same room at the same time.
See, this is why he got his shield checks while the rest of us were ignored. All right.
These things are simply told to you by men who say they're smarter than you. And how do they know they're smarter? Because they did better than you at studying and remembering and memorizing a book.
Right.
Oh,
because that's
right,
all college.
Yeah.
Because you guys don't need no schooling. That's what he's saying.
What the fuck? Excuse me?
In any of his videos, does he ever discuss that little pesky inertia thing that Galileo helped to work out, all those centuries ago?
Okay, I can answer that for you right now. No. Now, so
why is this not a surprise?
What he's proposing is that the thousands of years of accumulated knowledge that is in fact written down somewhere, we should ignore that.
One book.
We should ignore that and just look at stuff and go, that looks this way. Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. All right, got it. And hell, it's a lot cheaper to do research that way. Here we go.
Fun of Christians and other religions because they believe in a book.
Yeah, see,
I think we all believe in the existence of books.
Yeah, I've seen them. there may even be books over the Curvizon. I'm not entirely sure because I've never been there. but anyway, yeah, this is
C square remains true, even if it's written out in macaroni.
Yeah, and this is what Shawn was saying. It's in this specific video, it's these comments about religion being crap that apparently irked a lot of his subscribers, and he took a little dip right after.
Yeah.
So
that puts him outside of the stream of flat earthers who tend to be young Earth creationists. So that's really unusual for him. He's trodden fresh turf.
Well, that's
oh god, this makes me wonder if he's an atheist.
This
please no.
It would be a weird prospect, but that would be way outside the usual demographic for flat earthers.
Well, no. See, that's the demographic for flat Earth believers. I'm really starting to think that he's not a believer in any of this. It just brings in the views. And that's what I said before. He says, occasionally slips and says things that indicate that he understands reality.
A secret plot so that he could do a bad Scottish accent, and the rest is just window dressing.
Of course. Of course. All I can say is I'm very happy that Slender Skeptic was not able to attend, because that really bad Scottish accent would have just put him over the edge. He wouldn't have stayed. As soon as that started, he would have just clicked off. All right, here we go.
But they also believe in a book. Just like they'll make fun of Christians, calling them creationists. You guys believe in creation. Oh, what a joke.
Christians are creationists,
okay,
though.
that you guys believe in creation. What a joke. I imagine that pissed off more than a few.
Time out. What exactly is the Big Bang?
Oh,
I
fuck
believe
off.
It's a moment in time when all that there is was created. So
No,
people
not
who
created.
believe in science believe in creation.
Yeah, when you blow
They
up a
just
balloon, it's
say
created.
It happened accidentally. That's the difference. That's what makes you smart in this world. Do you believe that everything here is done accidentally?
Straw man. Nobody said accident.
It all created itself for no reason at all. There's no purpose to any of it.
No,
He's
there
been
doesn't
watching
need to be a
too
purpose.
much Ken Ham.
I'm guessing. He just
William Lane Craig. Either way,
he just gave the no.
Do you guys really believe that Spider-Man just came out of nowhere, created himself? Does I prove to you that Spider-Man was created by someone?
Okay, I would very much like to put you on the on the list.
In the beginning was
for
the-
our Ken
and in
Ham
the beginning
impersonator.
was the
You're the guy.
Antichrist.
You are the guy. When we need a Ken Ham impersonator, you're the guy.
All right, I'm on.
He's got it nailed.
All right, here we go. And again, nobody's gonna cry. I've had enough of this shit.
By the way, that'll work just as well for Yipes, the other guy with
Ray
the
Comfort,
banana.
Ray Comfort's a little bit more like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You can even demonstrate the difference between Ray and Kenny.
Here's Ken, and here's Ray.
Oh my! Very well done. Very well done indeed. You get a raise too. You and Hill both get shield check raises. It'll be in your next check. Okay, here we go.
All the laws of physics, all the laws of biology, the DNA.
Oh, Paul caught it. Did you see in the chat? Paul caught that you were doing Ray.
Well, I didn't say.
Yeah, was that a Ray Comfort?
Yeah. Oh, and Paul, I don't know if you're free to join. We do have room. Some folks jumped off. If you want to join, feel free. If you're not able to, thanks for joining us there as well. Either way, here we go.
The makeup of life that's done through informational systems is all accidental. It has no creator. It
Definitely
has no greater
too much Ray
mind.
Comfort.
Because really, let's think about it. Who could possibly have a greater mind than scientists, who are only off by 10 to the 120th?
Okay, so we're still
In a
jumping.
field that we don't, in a way we don't know.
Yeah, I have to think he had to be talking about the missing gravity or something of that sort. I will admit the gap in my knowledge that I cannot pull out where that quote mine came from, but I will find it.
So he's at best he's saying, taking that quote just at face value, and that's actually correct. Saying, at best he's saying some scientists are wrong in a certain way in one field.
Therefore, scientism. Yeah.
No matter how wrong that calculation is, it will still be the case that if you walk out the window, we can calculate with great precision at what point you will break your neck when you splat on the ground.
Indeed. Here we go.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Wow, that was an ominous "here we go," wasn't it?
Doesn't get any better than knowing that the Earth is 4.54 billion years old, because you can measure the radioactive decay of elements without ever having any clue as to what those elements were like 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago,
like
1 million.
Yeah, what were they like? Yes, what was that element like then? The fact that it
10 years ago, 100 million.
This reminds me of the thing that King Crocoduck did when he said how much energy all these different radioactive everything would have to give off in order to make the Earth just appear to be 6,000 years, and it'd be something like a nuclear bomb basically going off every second.
Yes, can you imagine it? Okay, that would frighten the life out of me.
A billion years ago.
That's why the flood geology people, a lot of the mountain ranges and that, because they when you get too much water involved and the amount of stuff with trying to figure out what was going on under a vapor canopy, that turns out that the atmosphere be so thick plants couldn't photosynthesize. It was just one mess after another.
Yeah, while they're drowning.
Yeah, and our friend the younger Hovind insists that the Grand Canyon was carved out about a month and a half from the flood. Whereas Niagara Falls is still the falls. And
years ago, 3.5
yeah, in fact, there's a wonderful old geologist from the early 1800s who noticed the fact about how rare waterfalls actually are, because as it turns out, the rivers will want to erode those damn things away. So that's why waterfalls are so unusual, because it takes quite a bit of tectonic things to shift the things up enough to compensate for the erosion.
Indeed.
Waterfalls on the Mississippi.
Years ago. This is really who we should be trusting, guys. Look at that sun right here on the screen.
Okay.
Watch this sun.
Watching.
We are not falling away from the sun. We're not falling back.
Okay, assertion without evidence. Gotcha.
Backwards, and the sun is passing below our feet. That's a religious belief that somebody wants you to believe pretty damn bad.
Ah, yes, religious belief. Scientism, of course!
When your observations tell you exactly what's going on.
Reality people trying to sell us globes!
And I understand, I think that...
Oh, my... That I never thought of that. It's not that there's all this Illuminati stuff. That's all crap. It's the globe cartel.
And there's a whole industry out there.
Maps are cheaper than globes.
People go around and pretend they've got these Civil War battles. Wow, I mean, there's an enormous amount of market potential there. They're just doing it to trick us.
Absolutely. Nobody could sell. You would not pay money for a disc. Who the hell would go out and get, excuse me, I'd like a disc. No, they can only charge you money if you're going to buy a globe because it's decorative. All right.
Yeah, but then again... But then the Frisbee was developed. We have the revolution.
All right. Am I misinterpreting
I am now
things?
A Frisbee Earth theorist.
Am I misinterpreting what's going on, or are we all getting a bit silly? I think we're getting a bit silly. All right, we'll try to make this.
No, I'm kind of a silly guy.
All right, we'll try and make this a little more serious. Damn it! There, I inserted a damn it. We are now more serious.
The hard part for people is that they do not comprehend deception, especially on a level that we're seeing right now.
Okay.
I mean, the level of indoctrination that we were all fed in our formative years has been...
Yeah, with all those facts we were told. Yeah, that was awful.
But he has been able to transcend from all that indoctrination, and without any sign of any evidence, he is able to conclude that he is able to use his eyes, except when you can't.
Well said. Very good. Very good. Yes.
Also, Darrenism, again, if you're listening, which I just have to assume you are, just because it's not that we can't or don't accept that deception exists, it's just that you haven't demonstrated that this is one of those times.
Agreed. And it's the same thing we've always said. Same with religions. Atheists are not. There is no God, I guarantee it. And the ball earthers are not. The earth is not flat, no matter what. It's the same thing. Just give us evidence. We're good. We're right there with you.
Well, just as a practical matter, just as no petroleum company on Earth uses flood geology to find oil, so too nobody who navigates makes use of a flat Earth model.
Agreed. All right, here we go.
And catastrophic. This isn't something that they will ever just admit. This is the foundation on which all of science has been built. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the science has been good.
Okay.
But the lies,
Like
and the dogmatic...
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Like chiropractor?
And homeopathy.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, they were... Oh, my... You know what? Thanks for bringing that
Science,
up. We have not...
Which science does Jaron actually allow to be true? I don't think it's a big list.
It's the science of Jaronism. You know that.
Yeah.
It's got an ism on the end.
Yeah.
It's indeed. And
a book, I can't believe it because it's in the book.
Absolutely. And thanks for bringing up the homeopathy thing. We need some of them on these movie nights because it has been months since we have abused the homeopathy quacks. We're definitely putting some of them on. Dana. That's it. We're getting Dana on. Okay, here we go.
Sun in the ocean. How bright is it when you want to feed somebody enough to make them turn into a cucumber?
Okay,
think about that one.
Do you have a mug of truth over there as well? All right, here we go.
Foundational axioms of science are the only things that have attributed to the materialism, atheism,
what?
And bunk science like
okay, what does any of that have to do with atheism?
He's slipping baggage in here without having to earn it yet. So creationism and atheism, what the hell does that have to do away from us on its circular track? And does anyone have to oil it?
I can't figure out if he is a Christian or not. I can't figure out where because he keeps jumping back and forth.
Well, he claims to be not now.
Away from it.
He seems to be distancing himself from it, at least in this video, and in that Twitter back and forth I mentioned a while ago that we had. He seems to be distancing himself from it, but honestly, if he wants to keep
I would classify him as an omni-non-directionalist.
Yeah. Well, because one of the most typical branches of Christianity to have flat Earth beliefs is like Seventh-day Adventists. Mainly because
the Seventh-day Adventists are the ones that founded young Earth creationism.
Yeah. So that's why so many of them still believe it today. Although most of the mainstream Adventists don't.
There's a small the geocentrists tend to be hyper-conservative Roman Catholics. I've got a little bit of a posting on it in the website I won't plug yet. And you can check around on that. But yeah, it's a fascinating. They tend to be really, really, really hyper conservative. The kind of guys that make the John Birch Society seem liberal.
Okay.
Well, like I said, if you really want to read on it, that book I recommended earlier has the whole history of creationism in the U.S. It's really great.
Alrighty.
Numbers' book is excellent.
Yeah, it's awkward. Jaronism seems to be going for the alienate everyone or anyone possibly in his audience.
And is that not a 180? Because like we've said before, usually he confirms every wacky theory that any one of his viewers might have first, and then spews his bullshit after. And
maybe he's got his script on Rolodex, and he just kind of spins around in the wind, and so whatever happens to pop up is what he puts on the next video.
Oh, well, maybe it's like
quickly going back to what he was actually saying about science. Science, by its by its definition, is naturalistic.
Yeah.
I mean, science can only work with the natural world. So that's not something to be levied against science. That's one of the things it has to be.
Agree, and he was very.
Or at least that's what it is.
And a while back, he was very upset with the being wrong. Well, that's kind of the whole point. Here is our model. Let's assume we're wrong and find out how we're wrong. And if we're unable to do so, then we'll accept it for now. That seems to bother him.
Part of that quote that he brought up earlier about 1 million millions of magnitude, whatever the fuck. The thing before that, the early part of that quote, he's saying, if a theory is off by a factor of 1 or 2, then we scrap it and then we get something new. That's progress right there.
Okay. The best example is what happened between Newton and Einstein. Einstein eventually showed that Newtonian calculations, which couldn't quite account for some of the motions of the planets, the perihelion of Mercury that kept on precessing, was difficult to account for. And Einstein accounted for all of that much better. But it didn't change any of the observations that had already been made. Those still remain true. And you could still, and when they send space probes out to the planets, they don't use Einstein. The formulas are too complicated because you're dealing with things that are relatively slow moving, relatively small objects going out to big planets. Newton works just fine. And the idea that a scientific revolution makes all the previous science go poof, that's not how it works. The observations are still there.
Hey, RJ, are you calling us from your scientism church?
I am the priest of omni-non-directionalism here, and
Alrighty. I'm surprised none of you have screamed for mercy yet and demanded an end for this. I mean, like I said, I'm good. The mug of truth is functioning well tonight. Here we go.
Evolution
I'm
and
just
the moon
stealing
landing.
ideas so I can open the Church of Omni-Non-Directionalism.
yeah. Send me some of the tithe.
There
5013C.
There are franchise opportunities available.
To be called
we have no integrity.
actual
Found
science
a religion.
and scientific fact. It is disgusting. It's time we take back the truth, because right now we're allowing men to tell us what the truth is, saying that they went through the scientific method, when in fact they rigged the system. They rigged it all.
He talks like Trump.
No, if he's go ahead.
RJ here on this is Jared actually saying that he is not a man? Men that have been telling you all these terrible things. So is this a secret admission that in his bedroom he is actually transgender?
There are those.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, certainly not. But there are
wrong with that at all.
There are those who have made
he
that
would be
assertion.
the most pseudoscientific transgender person in the history of the earth if he managed that.
Okay.
Just not sure where we're at right now. Awkward.
No. This is one of those.
I'm not sure that he will be remembered like that.
This is one of those points where somebody's supposed to say, "So, what about those Mets?"
Also, there's that whole thing about apparently like scientists reading observation in some strange way.
All right, moving on.
It's time we took it back. Now we go from the good to the bad. Now, after all those sunrises and sunsets we just watched,
okay,
I ask you to go to watch the ISS live for just an hour.
Okay.
Number one, you'll
because
see
we all
only
know the
30
ISS
minutes.
is at ground level.
Yes, well, that's
so it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, but why he asked to watch the ISS? Why he did at least 20 videos saying that is fake?
Yeah. Well, that's evidence. Well, it's the same as before. Something cannot be taken as evidence unless it's presented as evidence. Then it can be taken as evidence.
Yeah, but Jason after 10 minutes he didn't remember what he said earlier, so he mixes word salad and.
Indeed, it's like we said before. It's short attention span theater. Just accept what I'm saying now. Forget about what I said 10 minutes ago.
Do as I say, not as I do.
The joke I've heard is he's the first generation in his family to walk upright.
Okay.
Does your grandma look like a monkey?
Oh my God!
Thank you, Ryan.
You've got a job, fella. All right.
The time you won't see anything because the ISS will be on the dark side of Earth. You know, I guess those satellites.
Well, if you're watching a sunrise, then yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Right. Thousands must have better things to do because they can't bounce the signal down to the Earth from the ISS.
You're
Look at
watching
this
it right
crap.
now. We're looking at it.
They are faking the view from space. I mean, does NASA really deserve 15?
Faking the view from space. Well, you know, admittedly, we do have to give them credit. They are making us think we are watching a view from space and they accomplish this by providing us with a view from space. So you see how it's almost a perfect deception.
Yeah, it's sneaky. Yeah, exactly.
There really is no way to tell just as a viewer, there is no way to tell the difference between an actual view from space and an actual view from space. Well, I'm not it.
I'd love to have him be in the same room with those two twin guys who are both. One of them, I think, has gone up to the space station, or maybe both of them have at one time or another. The guy that did the year-long experiment up there, and then who was the astronaut that had been on the moon that encountered a moon landing hoax guy and he decked him?
Oh yeah.
You're saying that I'm a liar? Bing.
Yeah, that was
Was that Neil Armstrong that did that?
Yes,
Buzz
Aldrin. Aldrin.
Whatever it was awesome.
But anyway,
yeah, the guy wanted him to. So
Finally,
here's a Bible. I want you to swear on a Bible. Like, okay. All right. Oh, we're closing it. We may actually finish this. Here we go.
$1 million a day
and he's
of our money.
explained so much
Let's
to
watch
us
Kristen
with his
McCulloch here,
slow way of speaking.
who was the random teacher that they selected to be on Challenger in 1986.
Yeah, good point with the way of speaking. I have always hypothesized that if you could teach a ferret to speak, this is the way. This is how it would do so. It would do fast talk, fast talk, fast talk, pause. Fast talk, fast talk, fast talk, pause. And that's what we're hearing. If you could teach a ferret to speak, he'd have a channel. Here we go.
Well, if you've ever heard the late D. James Kennedy, he spoke in a very slow, monotonous, very portentous way of speaking. And so maybe he's channeling a little bit of that.
Wait, RJ, are you saying there's something wrong with that? Because I've been accused of that very thing. Here we go. Here we go.
For a session from Challenger to school children. She wasn't on Challenger, and this video is quite revealing if you listen close.
Okay, let's see.
Challenger, Houston, we have good Teachers TV.
I hate this.
Go ahead with the lesson, Krista.
I hate
Okay.
this.
Let me do.
Good morning. This is Krista McAuliffe.
I am tempted to kill this now. I didn't know this was in here. This offends me, and I'm not being a wise guy now.
I honestly don't know what this is.
That's the dead crew of the Challenger mission.
Yeah, and using this tragedy to push his bullshit.
That's why I hate him so much.
Yes, normally I respond with snide derision to people like Jaren, but I'm sorry, this is not. This is pure anger. This was a tragedy, and these people are not alive anymore.
Yeah, it's the same shit as when they talk about 9/11 that people didn't die.
Yeah, actors.
Or Alex Jones with his bullshit, any shooting that he calls a goddamn black flag operation, tries to say they're a bunch of actors.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of bullshit.
Go tell that to their families.
Yeah, so forgive my outburst, but this kind of crap makes me a little bit on the angry side.
Dumb, vicious, and nasty and vile. Yeah, I agree.
All right, all right. I will let it play. However, here we go.
Live from the Challenger, and I'm going to be taking you through a field trip. I'm going to start out introducing you to two very important members of the crew. The first one is Commander Scobie, who is sitting to my left, and the second one is Michael Smith. Now, Commander Scobie is going to tell you a little bit about flying the orbiter, and Pilot Smith is going to be telling you a little bit about the Spock, which is the computer that is used on board. Okay, after they talk about that, I'm going to be talking about the seats and how people are seated during takeoff. And I'll be pointing to the two seats or the positions on the floor. Then I'm going to be going to the aft flight deck and show how it can be flown from the back, pointing to the payload bay windows, the overhead windows, how you can see out, and the mission-specific panels that are going to be behind me. I'm going to be standing right here because Dick's going to be in this seat and Mike is going to be kind of balanced to his right with the Spock on his lap. He's going to pull the Spock out and he's going to be over here. Okay, at that point, Mike's going to move out of the way and I'm going to be going downstairs.
Okay.
What makes this even worse is he's just using this to fill time.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
I've noticed
There's
that.
no point. You don't need. If the point he's probably going to make is that she's still alive or something like that, and use another voice to compare it to. That's what I'm guessing. And he didn't need that much audio clip. You don't need near that much.
No, he didn't. And he's taking the time to show this. This is actually we have it on our website. We have a little a minor debunking because it really didn't deserve a major debunking of this meme that he has in the background, and he's put the video in the center. So that's part of it, is to show the deception, the mass deception that's going on. So, all right, here we go.
Okay? All right, now when I go down...
Boy, I don't normally get this crabby during these videos, do I? Huh, this is an odd one.
Stairs, that's going to move.
I'm going to switch to cameras.
Okay, and I'm going to pick up the handheld mic down here. Now the camera, that is...
All right, should we jump up a bit and see if he actually says anything?
Yeah, sure.
All right, because this it looks like he's just letting it play. Jackass. And usually I reserve the term jackass for Ken Ham.
It's a terrible insult to jackasses.
I have you've seen my stuff. I did a public apology to all jackasses everywhere for comparing
Use
them.
Tortugan. It's a nice open access term that doesn't require insulting any individual organism.
Did I not mention that we're saving plugs for the end?
Oh, Jaron, I don't think I've spoken to Jaron yet tonight, but fuck you, Jaron.
Okay, well said. Look at how long this is going on, and you're right. It's just for the view time. Okay. Oh, there. Okay, we jumped to something different. All right, let's start it right here and see what's up. Plus, this puts us at 45 and it ends at 52, so we're probably good. Here we go.
We have restraints here so I can explain to the kids that everything has to be held down because otherwise we'd have a problem with things floating away. Okay? Then he's going to put that back in the locker, and while he's putting it back, I'm going to be talking about the treadmill that's going to be here. Now, as I'm talking about the treadmill, this is the cue for the crew to start floating into view.
Okay.
The cue for the crew to start floating into view. Doesn't seem like some random teacher to me. So is NASA really worthy of...
fuck you, Jism.
Wait, a person can't talk about cues?
Like there was
a
no
cue just
training.
means something where you initiate so that it initiates something else to happen. You can't use the word cue.
And they're filming a promo.
Exactly.
They're filming a promo. Of course you use the word cue.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, he picks very dated material. We've reached the stage now where we've got live feeds in high definition from the space station. I think Conan did a bit with one of the astronauts that was on his show one time. And so we'd have to imagine it's not easy to do a live feed like where you have a ball of water globbing along in the middle of a frame. It's not easy to pull that kind of trick off if you actually are doing it in gravity.
Yeah.
Oh, is he about to do the astronauts are ashamed thing? Is that what this is going to be?
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's see.
Our trust at all? Many people don't think so. Just look at Apollo 1, for instance.
No, he's just going to switch topics. Gee, there's a shock. Hopefully everyone was seated. Everyone was seated. Good. No one was injured. Here we go.
Gus Grissom, who was a national hero at the time, probably would have been the first...
around this fast.
I'm sorry, didn't catch that, RJ. One more
the
time.
The robots took you.
Yeah.
Doesn't poor Jaron's head get dizzy spinning around that fast? I mean, the blood must be circulating to the ears to make the kind of jumps from one thing to another.
Yeah, no, he's doing this for years now, so he's tough.
He's okay. He's gotten a bit used to it. Nice. And
he's immune.
Maybe he'll express rotation in miles per hour again. I love when he does that.
Man to walk on the moon. But that was not going to be the case because he was also an outspoken critic of NASA. And on January 27, 1967, him and his crew boarded the capsule for a full-scale simulation. The communication systems were a problem, and he was heard to admit that he didn't think anybody was going to go to the moon with the problems they were having, and that somebody might die.
Okay.
No, I didn't read your Chuck at all. I can't read your Chuck. You want to try the phone?
Yeah, but he's dishonest because the mission on when the Grissom was not an Apollo mission that was set to go for the moon. So
yeah, this was before.
This massive NASA,
it wasn't even a launch.
Yeah. But
One of
even
us
though if he had complete this training and was a launch was set, it was not set for landing on the moon, not until Apollo 11, I think. So.
If this whole massive Napa
testing
we can't
issue of
decide who's
the
gonna talk.
fact that we're using too much oxygen in the.
Yes. But Jism, because Gus Grissom was quite pissed at the debut, at the beginning of the Apollo mission because he have issue with things like he made Jism made an excuse that because the Grissom was crying a bit about things that it was a conspiracy to removing him. So.
Yeah, and if there was this massive NASA apparatus of conspiracy, why would they allow us to know all these things that Grissom had said? You know, why if all of NASA was in on this, why would we know Grissom was upset? Why would we know that he had
how
concerns?
clever they are in allowing all that information out just to dissuade. When you get into that conspiratorial mind, another example of a map of time problem where they just don't think through what they think happened very well.
And if NASA wouldn't be happy about Grissom, they will simply put him to the ground him. That's it, and replace it by another astronaut. So it doesn't make sense.
Agreed, it doesn't make sense. Most of the alleged slip-ups that if everything was edited and CGI, there would be no such slip-ups. And arguably, NASA is the most transparent government agency in existence. Whatever information they get, as soon as it is translated into something that the public can absorb, it's put out there on their website. They do not hold stuff back. So, yeah. All right.
Well, you know, I'd have to argue the executive branch is the most transparent at the moment.
Okay.
Joke for the Americans on the panel.
Yeah, but I'm Canadian, so.
Okay, so you get it.
All right, save some seats for us, would you?
All hail Trudeau.
The Canadians are going to build that wall to keep us out.
They'll need to soon.
I have heard there are actual refugees from America. Have you heard this?
Yes.
That is.
I've seen stories, but I haven't looked in to see if they're true or not.
It's not Americans. It's Syrian and other nationality that are afraid that they will lose their green card or things like that, and they slip the frontier in Canada. But it's no big deal. 20 case perhaps. It's not as the Mexican border.
Indeed.
Because of winter.
Indeed, yeah. I heard it's a hell of a trip there too to the.
Yeah.
All right.
But there are a lot of people who are scared of sky cocaine.
All right. That's I'm impressed. We're closing in on this. We're gonna make this full video. Unless one of you screams like Jeranism when he's proven wrong, we're gonna do just fine. Here we go.
Then, during the simulation, a fire broke out in the capsule, and all 3 astronauts died. Many people were suspicious about the fire and the deaths of the astronauts, especially Grissom's son and wife, who felt NASA had something to do with the accident.
I think it was intentionally sabotaged by someone. It's been a question in my mind. What was...
Oh, sorry, somebody had some...
Well, good for you.
Indeed. Well, still, I mean, is it shocking that a son would say such a thing? Everyone
well, and there is a legitimate argument to be made. I mean, the speed of the space race, they were trying to push things along so fast that a lot got overlooked, and so there's an obvious argument there, but that doesn't lend any credence to his theory.
Agreed. The fact that shortcuts may have been taken and things of that sort, yes, that is a valid argument, but not for what, again, like you said, not for what Jeranism is saying.
Right, because do you want to scrap a $1 billion rocket to eliminate three guys, or put 3 guys on a car and simulate a fake accident.
Agreed.
I'd fuck him out for $37 and change.
Isn't it obvious that Tom Hanks's parents arranged for Apollo 13 disaster so that his children could play him in the movie? Huh?
I thought it was Ron Howard.
Okay.
Just figured it out.
Illuminati exposed. All right, here we go.
Come on, push that
Found in
in.
the accident investigation and how was that handled? Was the CIA involved, or whoever? But it was done intentionally.
Gus gave his life for this program, and I feel like that it is up to NASA to come forward and give us a direct answer to what really happened.
But those astronauts weren't the only ones who lost their lives. Thomas Ronald Barron was the safety inspector of North American aviation during the construction of Apollo 1. He testified to Congress about inept management, poor employee morale, and even said that he had heard from anonymous sources near the accident that the astronauts had smelled fire and even tried to exit 9 minutes before the door to the capsule was finally opened.
Anonymous
He signed a
sources.
500-page report.
I'm sorry, were there comments?
No, he said 9 minutes before. Those guys were test pilot. They knew when they got in trouble, and when it happened, they didn't have 9 minutes to figure it out. That's bullshit.
Okay, I think you called it.
You know, if I had only known about this Apollo 1 when I was younger, I could see that the Earth was flat a lot easier. It follows so clearly.
All right, here we go.
Report as part of his testimony that has since been lost. And 1 week after his testimony, his car, which included himself, his wife, and his stepdaughter, was struck by a train. All 3 died. Investigators have looked into the cause of death.
Does NASA control trains?
NASA arranged? Yes, that's what he said.
Perhaps CIA.
It's on that. They use the rails that they use for the sun.
Yes, that's okay, NASA controls the trains now. That's very interesting. All right, I thought Mussolini did that.
Contacting the doctor who signed the death certificate, who reported not remembering the deceased. Seems like NASA gets away with anything, even rocket flight in a vacuum.
What?
Rocket fly in a vacuum.
Oh yeah,
Could they get away?
Won't operate in vacuum.
Oh,
They get away with Newton's third law?
We got apparently so. We've got. I think we've got a video on that in response to what's his name? We've got a video on that topic in response to what the hell's his name? Wet Tomato Man.
Nature Hacker.
Oh no, yeah, it wasn't Wet Tomato Man. It was Nature Hacker, who then later admitted that rockets do work in space.
Oh yes.
Wait, what? He did?
Well, the famous one. There was a editorial writer at the New York Times who castigated Robert Goddard for the ridiculous idea that you use rockets because rockets won't operate in a vacuum. But that was 1920. I mean, let's kind of put that one to bed.
Yeah, one would hope we've advanced a little bit in that amount of time. Here we go.
Let's take a look here at this man in a boat. If that boat began to tip, the man could just counter that direction and stay afloat.
Right.
And if he leans too far, the boat would tip over.
We're with you.
However, in space, there are no directions.
What? You okay?
And no fluid to counter the weight. There's no way to stop your direction of motion.
Yeah, you just use a gyroscope. That's why gyroscopes. That's why they're used. You can just spin it the other direction that your spacecraft is going, and then it corrects itself.
Right. I don't see why.
He never played with gyroscopes in the bedroom, so he's not going to notice that.
And if so, remember, the room was as big as a city, so the gyroscope, even if he did, the gyroscope could have been very far away.
Big gyro heavy. He couldn't lift the damn thing. He could never get it to spinning, and besides, he was too busy playing High Life.
That is true. Now, why is he making a comparison between a boat that is floating on the surface of the water and a spacecraft that has thruster-type devices to... All right.
Yeah.
Why am I asking these questions? I'm asking for
This
logic.
all makes sense to journalism.
And to his overly religious followers, and I'm not referring to Christian religion, I'm referring to the Jeranism religion. To them, this makes perfect sense, I think.
Okay.
How many followers does he have, by the way?
If anyone's listening and they actually don't understand this, the way rockets orient themselves is a mixture of either They use gyroscopes, so if their rocket, if they want to point it in a particular direction, they basically take a gyroscope and spin it really fast in the other direction, which, according to Newton's third law, creates a opposite force and a torquing effect so that the rocket turns. Or they use a slightly simpler method of RCS thrusters, which allow the rocket to maneuver around a little bit.
Yeah.
And on top of which, when you're in an orbital frame that way, all of your common sense intuition is thrown out the window, because you have to speed up to slow down and slow down to speed up. Because when you put a thrust under you, you're suddenly moving into a different orbit, but that different orbit actually means that you're moving the opposite direction from what you wanted to because of the added size, because you're orbiting around the Earth. So all of the usual in navigating a boat fall apart when you're moving at 18,000 miles an hour in an orbit.
I love orbital mechanics.
Could you imagine if we had to explain how Hubble changes its direction to these folks? There are no rockets. There are no thrusters. It's all inertial. It's all with this would just baffle them to hell.
There are tiny figure skaters that live inside the Hubble telescope, and they pull their arms in and out while they listen to Who Let the Dogs Out, and that's how you orient Hubble.
Wait a minute, Jeranism told me it was Smurfs. It's not Smurfs?
You've been reading a different book.
Okay, all right. What have we established in all of this so far? The one thing that we've surely established is...
Jaron is an idiot.
Well, no, that was pretty much known ahead of time. I'm thinking that three mugs of truth is perhaps a little bit too much. I'm very happy that we only have 4 minutes of this crap left. Here we go.
If you just tilted your boat slightly, you would go into an uncontrollable spin, not head off in that direction. If you used an RCS thruster, as NASA pretends its rockets do...
Okay, again, I have to say, aside from the amount of crap Jeranism spews, he does have some decent production value, does he not? I mean, this is not.
Yeah, does he?
This is not.
Does he? He took a picture of a boat and is spinning it.
Oh yes, but look at that. Did I not tell you?
You think could be put up to actually kidnap Jaron, launch him up to the space station, and then just throw him out one of the hatches some point as ballast?
If we had if we had accumulated enough funds to do exactly what you describe, I'm afraid I would hesitate just before putting them on and hop on myself. If I could buy a seat, I'm not wasting it. I am not going to waste a seat on a flat earther. Just absolutely not.
That's true.
I think what we should do instead is, the very ambitious, Elon Musk colonize Mars rocket thing. We put all the flat earthers on that.
Ooh,
I think that's the best. I think that's the best way to do it. It just solves every single problem.
Wouldn't it be funnier if we
sanitizers? I've seen Hitchhiker's Guide.
It would be
I love
funnier
that book.
if we all left to start anew and left them here while they're denying climate change and the various other horrible things we're doing to this planet, and let them freaking destroy it. I'm good with that. All right. Here we go. 3 minutes left.
Let them take over the world.
Indeed. Change the world. That's Bill Nye. Okay, here we go.
Of course.
Of course.
Meanwhile, in the Fortress of Solitude.
Spin in place, or if in an orbit, you're taken out of orbit by your new change of direction and speed. NASA actually shows two crafts docking together.
Right.
It simply is not possible.
Assertion without evidence.
It's very possible. Hell, I have done this shit in Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, not only is it
NASA,
possible.
I'm sure NASA could figure it out. Jaron, if you have a rocket and then it does a little bit of torque, either with gyroscope or RCS or whatever the fuck, it does a little bit in one direction. They're able to do it in the other direction to counteract it to stop. They don't just they don't just say, well, they just start spinning the rocket uncontrollably. Well, I guess dang it, Jim, it happened again. We need to get another one.
Guys, I've had girlfriends. I know a thing or two about docking, if that's what the kids are calling it these days.
All right, so you were able to stop spinning long enough to dock, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's all about getting the tension right on those ropes, and you figure it out. You get it figured out.
Are you familiar with the concept of too much information?
That's my job.
All right.
Never seen Cirque du Soleil, but imagine less clothes.
Okay, there's an image. There's an image that will stick with you. Okay, 3 minutes, guys.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got.
You're free of me in 2 minutes, I promise.
Let's see what we got here.
A craft attempting to travel, to say Mars for example, is not an orbital craft anyway.
Right.
The trajectory takes place at variable distances, velocities, and with a constant change of direction from the gravity influence of other moving bodies, such as Mars, the Sun, the Earth, the Moon, Mars moons.
Flying spaghetti monster. What the word salad? What
Mars
do you get?
moons are like really small. They're
That would be a six-body
gravitationally
problem.
insignificant.
This cannot be solved, as we discussed earlier. NASA nor any scientist can find a solution to a 3-body problem, let alone 6.
Except fake news.
Oh no, not fake
We need
news
to bring
again.
Red back?
We might at some point. And he could solve this whole problem, and we would have no argument if he would just use the Trump proof. Every time he comes out
By the
with
way, just as a technical point,
yes,
spacecraft, although we don't actually get quite that fast, but once you get up to about, I think it's 230 or 280 kilometers per second, the gravitational fields of the other planets and the sun are considered irrelevant, and you can just use basically point and go the direction you want to go because you're moving way too fast to be affected by gravity. So, all of that stuff, you can work all of that out.
excellent. And as to what I had mentioned before, we would have no argument whatsoever if, after making any of these wacky ass assertions that he seems to make, if he would just use the Trump proof when he gets to the end of his statement, which is merely stating, you know it and I know it. We have no argument. If we both know it, how are we going to argue?
You guys, we have a really great flat Earth. It's the greatest flat Earth anybody has ever seen. It's huge. It's so beautiful, and it's going to be the greatest.
Mr. President, are you going to make the flat Earth? Are you going to make the flat Earth great again, Mr. President?
2020, Donald Trump, make flat Earth great again. I got to move my hands like this a lot more in and out, and then we got it.
Your hands are too big, though.
I'll use Photoshop, make them smaller.
And there goes half our
I'll have
audience.
Jaron Photoshop my hands smaller. Obviously, he has some skills.
Apparently so. All right, here we go. Oh, we're closing in on it, folks.
Forces acting on the spacecraft would vary at
You
every
keep saying
millisecond, and the speed and direction would vary.
If you haven't figured it out, I'm making that shit up just so you folks hang around till the end. Here we go.
Accordingly, so the 3D trajectory and positioning cannot be scientifically or mathematically established. I'm not trying to convince you of anything here. As I always say,
okay.
Oh shit.
I'm not saying I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. It's just that 2 seconds ago I said that it's impossible scientifically and mathematically.
Right. But he's making no assertions whatsoever, except for the assertions he's made, which he didn't make in his city-sized bedroom. Okay.
But if your eyes weren't your eyes, you wouldn't be able to see unless you can see.
I have noted that. I've noted that myself. But
How can we see if our eyes aren't real?
That is true. Of course. Here we go.
What the fuck?
That's what a real sense of humor looks like. It suddenly popped up.
Here we go.
don't trust me.
I don't trust
if
you.
If you hate my videos, love NASA, then block me. It's that easy. But I do ask
what's
you.
the fun in that?
We'd miss so much really good humor, except for that whole Challenger thing, which kind of.
Wait. I think he got something totally wrong there.
What's
Can
that?
you block a YouTube channel? I don't think you can.
Well, if you can't calculate planetary orbits, you can block a YouTube channel. It's just as easy.
I guess. All right. I guess that's probably true. All right. 2.5 minutes, folks.
Do your own research. That's it. It's all.
Do your own research. Translation. Make sure you are enrolled in YouTube University. That's what he means.
All I ask.
You'll notice he doesn't put his picture up because when he said that, his nose suddenly grew Pinocchio-like about 18 inches out. So.
Aha. Of course.
What if it dips down for every mile squared?
Your trust. If you think your life history shows humans are trustworthy and upright, then you are free to trust and believe whomever you want.
No, there is no trust. When evidence is provided, we
to trolling. Yeah, it's hilarious. In
Little
the great tradition of Anakin and Emmanuel Velikovsky.
little bit of roboting there, but I think we caught you.
You know, I think I got it. I used to work at a drive-through window with a bad speaker, so I got every word of that.
Okay, very good. And yes, I'd like fries with that. Here we go.
But you should really look into it. There's something wrong with the story that we've been sold. Is it universally accepted?
Stop for just 1 second.
Perhaps.
Stopped.
The reason science is trusted is because trust is a thing that is earned, and science has a track record of doing a really good job, and as some would say, providing the goods. It gets stuff done at least from a pragmatic standpoint. It works.
Agreed.
Yeah, that track record phrase is exactly right. We don't have to go on authority. We don't have to go on ancient books or recent books. We can go on the fact that everything can be checked. And what's so hilarious is the idea, go and do your own research. Like he's really done that. All he's done is trail together a bunch of videos and little snippets of stuff and tropes that he's got off the internet to where he puts it together in this incoherent, illogical salad. And we're supposed to be impressed by that. Yeah, no.
Well, yeah, and for the do your own research, didn't Red offer him that opportunity? What was that? Hill was that a year ago that challenge was made?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was something like that.
It was a long time ago.
Less than a year.
Less than a year.
For 20 years from now, we're all looking forward to.
It's less than a year because I knew about Flat Earth only in late August last year, so it.
Yeah, I think it was about half. I was thinking of was more than a year ago that Red and Jeranism were apparently going to have that debate where Jeranism challenged him to repeat that that one observation from that one satellite deployment. That was about a year ago. I think
I remember that one, yes.
Yeah.
But there were supposed to be another one with a moderator, and Jeranism would accept only if a Red shows his face as an excuse to backpedal.
Yeah, that's something else. He just annoys me. He keeps, every time he brings up this whole debate thing, he keeps saying, I don't care what Red looks like or what his name is or anything like that. And then every time he's not talking directly to his fans, he says the exact opposite.
Yeah, but
Are you aware of Alfred Wallace?
Yeah,
of evolution, who did a big thing with a flat earther. He debated, in effect, a flat earther, and they were involved in a lawsuit back in the 1850s. So we've gone around these race courses a lot of times in the history of man.
Indeed. All right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Here we go.
Is it a giant bowl of malarkey? You bet. Start with the building blocks of life, atoms. The smallest thing.
Atoms.
The building blocks of life.
Atoms are the building blocks of life. You know what? Quarks.
Well, you know what?
I thought that was DNA.
You know what? Technically, he's not wrong.
No.
Yeah, but it's more building blocks of matter.
And again, it's a matter of scale. Yes, atoms. If you stop
that
there.
That was a pun.
100 net points awarded for the pun. But why stop at atoms?
They're not made of atoms. They're made of quarks, man. We gotta get at least up to the latest speed.
Absolutely. Gluons and quarks. That's why did he stop at atoms? All right. You know what? How about just to preserve our sanity, we've got 50, 52. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. And he seems to be just rambling on. Maybe we'll just, unless it's something really serious, then feel free to yell drink. But if not, let's let him finish his bullshit, and then we'll just all yell bullshit at the end. Unless there's something really serious. Okay, we good?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Here we go.
It can make up everything. A piece of paper is said to be 500,000 atoms thick. Then let them tell you how no one has ever seen one. Then let them tell you about the nucleus, the electron, and the neutron.
Nucleus?
That orbit inside the atom.
What the hell's a nucleus?
Inside the smallest thing there is. They can't be dissected or cut in half, yet has something inside it. And they know what it is.
That's what makes a nuclear explosion.
So do I. It makes them seem smart and allows them to take your money.
Them damn
be
smart
kind,
folk.
Don't lie.
Yeah, those
And open up
atomic
your mind?
physicists, they're just picking my pocket every single day.
Wait, he's gonna say it. His absolutely ridiculous. Open your mind. There's truth inside. Is coming.
Yeah.
I feel it coming.
Truth inside.
Oh Jesus!
So next time, guys, this has been Jeranism.
It has been.
It always is.
Inspiring music. Daytime, nighttime.
It's terribly ironic that I'm assuming he's using satellite communications and all of that, and computers to do this crap. All of those are using solid state chips that based on solid state physics that are based on quantum theory that were worked out at the turn of the 20th century, early 20th century. So whether he likes it or not, he's depending on that just as much as he is on that Mr. Newton and Einstein and everybody else. But boy, he's figured all out this stuff, and he doesn't have to worry about a calculation or like going to the edge of the earth or any of that stuff.
Yeah, he uncovered the secrets of big chemistry.
Oh, big chemistry! It's enough.
Bedroom.
The chemical cartel. The chemical cartel is in on this. Oh, we're screwed. All right. I'm kind of enjoying his tunes, though. Here we go.
Oh, crank it up.
Oh, somebody's rocking down.
Hey, I'm young. Give me credit.
All right. There we go. That's the end of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready for our bullshit cry?
Oh, yes. Feel free. You can do a group cry of bullshit to all the journalisms. Bullshit. 1, 2, 3. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
All right. And we have now come
We gotta work on our choral arrangements.
Holy crap. Paul's right. Just look at the comments. We've been on for 3 hours and 17 minutes we've been on. Ooh. Yeah, and all
just started with 9.
And all of us are still sane. That's freaking amazing.
Well, speak for yourself, young man.
All right.
I live in Berkeley, so I've got to credit certain substances available for my sanity.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
All right. Okay.
I got a glass of iced tea. That works for me.
We have now come to the part of our show where all of you great folk get to point to some of the great work you have done. Let us. Why don't we start with our newest member from UC Berkeley? You're up. Tell us about.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about your things.
Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm a blogger, a student. I am the current managing editor of ConatusNews.com, CONATUS News.com. It's a progressive news site based out of the UK, and we're expanding very rapidly. I also do podcasts. Have a couple new ones that'll be coming out in the next month or so, actually. So you can find those on ConatusNews.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and we'll be looking for some link backs from you. I'm just kidding. You showing up here and joining us for the show is more than enough, my friend. Thank you for coming. Definitely.
You send me some cool pictures of rockets, and I'll post them.
Absolutely.
We are looking to increase our science content on Conatus, so that's a call to anyone who's in here right now. If you want to get in contact with us, you can just find us through the website or email us at conatus@gmail.com.
Oh, we got lots of science, my friend. I think you're going to be hearing from some of us. All right,
so.
Moving on. Let us. Okay, Dev. What needs to be said? Dev's a freaking genius. But Dev, would you like to say anything about yourself or any of your efforts? Mention your whatever. I think anything you'd like to say. You're on.
No, not really. I just really cannot stand bad science.
Absolutely.
Like just the other day, I was going on with this guy on Twitter. On a Facebook about how the Earth isn't flat, and he kept using up all the Jeranism excuses about like perspective and like all that other bullshit, vanishing points. And I had to explain to him that that stuff only really applies to art. And seeing as how I can quite actually walk down the street and be at the point that's supposed to have vanished, that's stupid.
And it failed to vanish.
Yeah, it didn't vanish. It's right here.
Indeed.
And he just did not understand it. He's like, no, because on YouTube, it's like, dude, I just wanna. Oh my god.
All right, would you before we get to move on to the, would you give us one good? Of course.
Of course.
Excellent, thank you. That's and we all know who that's in deference to. All right, Hill, you're a genius. Talk about yourself for a bit.
Oh God, what do I have to say? Well, I'm just some guy who loves science, and hopefully, if I can manage to not be such a procrastinator, I will actually like to be putting up a little bit of science content on my channel, mostly trying to deal with pragmatic science in order to try to do a bit more kind of debunking stuff, because I figure that it's good. I at least try to be a more effective way, because people don't like. I feel like it'd be more effective than just ideas, so people could actually see why they're wrong and not just hear about it.
Understandable. Sounds like a laudable ambition. We all look forward to that. All right, and RJ, you know what? I'm tempted to skip over you because you're smarter than me, you bastard. I'm just kidding, RJ. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your efforts and how to help.
Well, you can see from my pathetic picture, I'm an old fart, and I'm now technically retired in a midlife crisis in my 60s. I'm doing the Troubles in Paradise Methodology of Creationism project at www.tortucan.com, and that's looking at combating anti-evolutionism by using a methods approach, which looks at source methods. I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and I may be hitting an email to Conatus about possible science content of things, because I'm kind of a broad range of stuff. Because I'm now on Social Security and up shit creek financially, I've been trying to have a GoFundMe site to help the TIP project, and boy, the crowd still needs to show up on that one. I've also got 2 books out at the moment, which you can actually get at Amazon.com. The science-oriented one is Evolution Slam Dunk on the reptile-mammal transition, which fills a big hole in the anti-creationism argument because nobody had written on that subject from that angle before. And I've also got a novel out there, The Paralogues of Phileas Fogg, a mystery science fiction steampunk retelling of Around the World in 80 Days. And I'm currently working on the second novel on that. So those are some of my little anybody that wants to help at TIP, the website. I welcome comments sections. All the material up there is open access. You can share it free. And if we can get, I'm worried that in the near future, we're going to be having way more active anti-evolutionism efforts because you got the Trump administration putting their thumb down on things with DeVos and others. So we want to have the best case that we can make to combat these arguments, so they can't get any farther than they would normally. Anybody questions out there?
I've got one. Is it more than a coincidence that no roboting occurs during your plug period?
I have no idea.
The AI has completely taken over now. The AI has taken over. Everyone run. Just run.
All right.
I'm afraid I can't, Dave.
All right. And, okay, on to our friend Sine. Another dude who's smarter than me, and that pisses me off. I don't know if... Ooh, I see he has muted himself.
Stop.
He's back. He's...
I was being polite and not trying to talk over people.
That was very kind of you. Anything
what can I say? I'm just a boots on the ground baller.
Anything you'd like to say about yourself? Now's the time. Feel free, and I don't know, mention some of your electronics experiments, musical stuff, whatever you like. Or just say, get the hell off me, stop putting a spotlight on me, you bastard. Any of that's fine.
Yeah, you're making me blush, so come on.
All right.
You just said it. I do that. I do stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
They're usually pretty cool, except when they're not.
Oddly enough, I'm very fond of stuff and things.
Groovy.
All right. Very good. And finally, after so many weeks of just watching, Ceti Alpha was kind enough to join us this week. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Please say howdy and say whatever you got to say. We'd be happy to hear it.
I don't have that much to say, but I discovered flat tard last August, and I was so pissed that I got addicted to it. So I dedicate a channel to pretty much showing flat earthers painting themselves in the corner. So I made a humoristic comic capsule about it. And that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Well, I do appreciate you joining us after after just being an observer for all this time, and very good indeed. All right, now everybody's who's just talked about themselves a little. I expect you to either on Twitter or whatever just send me links to all the stuff you talked about so I can put it in the description because I'm going to forget. As a matter of fact, I've forgotten already. I don't know who the hell any of you are. Anyway, the one person we got to add because he was not able to join because I guess we were full house is, well, not one, it's a couple. Paulogia over you'll see him in the public comment. Everybody hightail it over to his channel. He's got some really great stuff. And Steve McRae was also unable to get in. Also, very good channel. Strongly recommended. And that pretty much concludes the plug section. And none of you forget to send me links that you want put in the description. Because as I've mentioned, I've already forgotten not just what you talked about, but that all of you exist. So make sure I get the information so you can get the credit you deserve.
Roger.
Alrighty then. And I think, let's see. Dev, do you know what time it is?
12:27.
Oh, no, not that. And it's 3:27 over here at the Jersey Shore.
It is sick ass tunes time. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It is time to bring on the pug. Here comes the
Pug-a-pegacorn.
Here comes.
Oh yeah.
Here comes.
And no butt puppies.
Absolutely. Oh, more vocabulary from the past. Here comes Buster the Atheist Pug. Here we go.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Everyone's so jealous of our outro.
Oh yeah.
It's been a pleasure, everybody.
This is why I don't use the camera. I'm dancing right now. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Kick-ass group as usual. Rockin'.
I mean, seriously, it is impossible to hit that song.
Are you playing the devil's music, Joe? Rock and roll is the devil's music.
Look at that pug face.
Yes, just to lay your eyes on a half-century of human inbreeding that animal, yes. Yes, look at it, but it's cute though.
Evolution
But
back
it's
to
cute.
You just disproved Cunningham, dog.
Maybe when it becomes a non-dog.
Ken Ham says nothing ever becomes better from evolution. It's just wrong.
the pinnacle of things.
That would be the Pug-a-Pegacorn.
Alrighty. That's it, folks. Thanks everybody for joining us. Everybody, make sure you send me your information so I can put it in the description. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again.